and taking hours away from the part-timers
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
could be working 30 hours a week instead of 20.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. It's also, yeah, I mean, you know, there's plenty of stuff like that. And it's, you know, you've heard my story of the college stuff. And, you know, would have been literally recorded class. I had the teacher say, recorded on voice, a whole bunch of incriminating shit about me. And easily could have won a lawsuit against them.
Yeah.
Could have gotten crap loads of money just to shut me up out of them. But my mother shut that down. But
yeah, it just the entire thing is nonsense.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know.
Well, and it's just one of those things where it's like if I don't know. I hate it because it's like if you got a problem with an employee, you need to tell them what the problem is.
Well, see
If it's just if you don't like them as a person, that's one thing. If you don't like something they're doing that they can't technically be fired for, but is causing an issue on the payroll, you need to tell them instead of being a little bitch.
Well, see, we are in a anti-conflict environment these days, Max.
Well, not just that. Don't forget that. Come on. They did give Gray a warning. His boss explicitly told him, you need to stop coming in at certain times, and Gray did technically comply, but he complied with the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law, after everyone he knew was like, man, come on.
Yeah, and it's. I mean,
Oh, you're not wrong. But I'm with Gray on this thing. If you want an employee to do a thing, you don't do things in the spirit of the law. You tell them this is what it is.
Yeah.
And if they don't comply, then you lay into them. You don't give the employee a choice in situations like that.
Yeah, that's the autism angle. And like I said, we're in a non-conflict society right now, which means that people don't like to frame things in a way that makes them feel bad. The boss telling him that he needs to come in later is in his mind, oh, he'll understand that he should be coming in at a normal time. But to Gray, it's, oh, I just have to move my timetable up 2 hours to meet the minimum requirements he just gave me.
Yeah.
And I told Gray this. I told Gray he needs to go in at a normal time, not at the time he wants to go in. We all did. I know. I know, but what I'm trying to say is I did explicitly explain to him the expectations from the boss and not what the boss was implying.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it is what it is. And unfortunately, autistic people, they need explanations from the authority figure giving the ruling, effectively. Because a friend, unfortunately, explaining it to them doesn't mean the same.
No, not really. Not unless they respect that friend as an authority figure of some sort.
Yeah. So.
Which, I mean,
yeah.
I just don't like the anti-conflict thing. Cause I'm like, quit beating around the bush. You shouldn't be a leader if you're not going to sit there and tell people straight.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you let women into the HR. So.
Just say what you mean what you say. Stop pussyfooting around. Stop beating around the bush. Don't leave room for interpretation, you stupid fuckheads.
Yeah, but the wiggle room
really
is key to their ability to fire people whenever they feel like.
Yeah, or to just keep their own ass safe.
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
No, like, if you want if you want to keep your ass safe, you put an email to said employee, hey, you need to do it this way, and this way. That keeps your ass safe.
No, because for instance, the boss can go, yeah, I told Gray he needs to come in earlier, he needs to work regular hours, and he did move it up 2 hours, right? And here's the thing, at that point in time, nothing's going to happen, because Gray still does good work, and the boss personally likes him.
And Gray is meeting the minimum requirements of being there for all the meetings. So, yes, on paper, technically, he is meeting the requirements. Socially, he is meeting the requirements, but he is not meeting the emotional requirements of someone in payroll who now has to fill out overnight forms.
Yeah, but and the thing is, the boss gets to go, look, guys, I told Gray he needs to come in earlier. He did. If you don't think that's earlier enough, or you don't think he really complied correctly, you can do something about that. But here's what I did.
Yeah, hey, Sneaky, stream's not muted.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
We stopped talking about the super personal stuff and moved on to generalities.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
Sort of, until you guys started name dropping, but sure.
Well, we're saying Gray, and it's not like Gray is...
Yeah, it's not like we're out there saying Alfred Humperdinck.
This company hiring this person specifically.
This company hiring this person whose real name is Alfred von Leibowitz.
But no, if you're not going to tell an employee in writing word for word, that's not covering your ass. That's being a snake.
Yes, Max, but it's like how I got fired from that one job up in Vermont, where my boss said that we need to be able to be contacted at any point in time with email, phone, or text messaging, and so I contacted my boss by email, and he fired me for doing so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that computes because you did what he said.
Well, because I didn't call him.
But he said email was there.
Yeah, but he doesn't check.
He didn't
his
say
email.
Well, that doesn't matter. Then that means that he's the one not following.
Yes.
What he said.
Yes.
That's not covering his ass. If anything, I would have gone to the guy above him and like, hey, just so you know, he told me this, this, and this. Here's the text message for it, and he's firing me because I didn't call him
verbal.
because he won't check his email.
This was all done verbally because he is covering his ass. Verbally, there's no record of him saying any of those things.
Okay, then again, that's not covering your ass. It's being a snake.
Yes, that's my point.
Most ass covering is snake.
Oh, thanks for that.
Snaking.
I really appreciate that.
In the corporate world, that's what it is. Cover your ass doesn't actually mean cover your ass. It means make sure that someone else is there to take the blame.
Yes.
That's what it means in a business environment, unfortunately.
Yes.
There are lots of times when I get emails from, right, I will go and I will discuss something with a coworker and I will tell them what's going on. I've stopped doing that because I would then later get emails, why wasn't I told about this, or why hasn't X been done? Now all my messages go through email or Teams as to what's going on, why we can't get a part, why the part hasn't been ordered. There was an engineer. I told him 3 times that we can't get this part, it's not on the approved vendor list, and they haven't responded to our requests to get a W-9, which, by the way, hyper common, very simple form. Literally anyone doing any kind of business-to-business relation should be able to produce a W-9 with a snap of their fingers. Did not receive it. I tried for 2 weeks. A different coworker of mine tried for a month. During this entire time, we were telling the engineer what was going on. This month, I got an email from the engineer with fucking cutesy little smiley faces directed to his boss for, hey, why don't you ask purchasing why we don't have this part and why we can't move forward with the project? Luckily, I had sent an email, so I just copied those emails in there, and the emails just said, per emails on this date, and per this date, please see why we can't have it. Find it with an approved vendor.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's what you gotta do, and it's also on the flip side.
But that's just it, right? He was trying to cover his ass by making me take the fall.
Yeah, exactly.
He was being a snake. The only reason it didn't work is because I was like, because I sent emails.
Because you covered your ass, and you weren't being a snake.
Yeah, covering your ass is not being a snake. Covering your ass is stopping the snakes.
Atin is trying
That's my
to
issue
say,
with the wording.
No,
I get what he's trying to say. It's just bad wording, in my opinion.
No. What he's trying to say is that to the average person, covering your ass isn't creating a paper trail. It's throwing other people under the bus. Covering your ass to the average person.
Surrounded by exceptional business people, then.
You might have been.
Okay, you know what? Let me back up. I've grown up with my dad as a small business owner, which means I've had to deal with other small business owners. I've literally been raised around exceptional business people because covering your ass is keeping a paper trail.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
to
yeah.
be fair, small business lives and dies on their paper trails.
Oh, I know.
Obviously, I'm sure you know about that. But like that's the thing, right? The most exceptional examples I've had for business are genuinely my father as a manager, because like my father is the kind of boss. There are 184 employees on our shop floor. He can tell you every single one of their names,
Mhm.
where their kids are, how their grandparents are doing. And it's not because he's trying to make them like him. It's because he actually gives a damn.
Right, right.
And then the boss that I have right now, right? That
Sure.
boss also gives a damn. He has regularly gone to bat for us when telling other departments to fuck off and follow procedure.
Right. No, yeah, good
But
bosses are
before
great.
that, everything I had in business was just absolute snakes and assholes.
Mhm.
Nothing will rob you of your faith in mankind sooner than a marketing class and
True.
any kind of business ethics class.
I mean,
I've gone on the
I
record.
took a communications class, and
Oh
by
yeah.
God, the shit that I learned in that communications class, and the kind of snakes that were in that class, fucking hydras in the making.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying. Listen, because there are exactly two kinds of people in the business world. There are the excellent people like my father, Max's father, my boss that I have now, uh, right? The kind of people that actually care about their employees, and then there are the people that are going to be wildly successful and become millionaires who are in an ethics class, right? Because
Right.
you, I don't have to explain to my father, Max's father, etc. You don't have to explain to those people ethic. Now, sure, maybe there'll be a few edge cases where you have to ask yourself what really is the right ethical thing to do here and how do I do it, right? But those are 5% of the fringe cases, right? Otherwise, you're going to have people like Max's manager at GameStop who
Yeah.
said who fired Max because of back medical issues, making him difficult to work for and schedule with, and he's whiny. Is it ethical to do that? No. Is it illegal to do that? Absolutely. Is it going to stop this guy? No, because he did it to a teenager who probably didn't know better, or a young adult who didn't know better, and he knew he could get away with it. And those are the kinds of people that go on to succeed in a business environment, right?
Well, it's
All of the
actually worse
people.
than that.
Oh, great.
It
I was
was a
saying,
young adult who didn't care.
Oh, yes.
Why? Listen, I don't think you understand. The company that just recently fired me, they could offer me twice my paycheck. I wouldn't go back. I don't give people a second chance to stab me in the back.
Sure.
which
That's
is
a me
good, and you
thing.
shouldn't.
I I would die in a gutter before working for that company again.
That's fair.
That is the correct.
I made an exception for GameStop the second go around because the guy that was the assistant manager, he got the manager position and he called me up and said, "Hey, do you want your job back part-time? I need to fill the crew." The people like it, I was like, "All right, sure. I'll come back for you."
Right.
And the
Yeah.
best part, he got the part-time gang back together that worked well, did great with like I was good on the sales register and I could talk shop with the Sony customers.
Sure.
And there was one other person that could do that. And then he was finally moving on because he was graduating and going for his actual degree and career he wanted. The new manager had the best time in the world. Do you know why? The entire crew found other jobs at the same time. He
Yeah.
didn't have to fire anyone. He got a clean slate without the bad taste.
Yeah. But yeah, right. That's all of that is my problem, right? Because like the people I met in some of those business classes, right? I was in a class, right? And it was about a relatively simple ethics class. Now, Max, I
Oh
have a
God, I
very
think I know which one you're talking about too.
I have a very simple question for you, Max.
Uh-huh.
If there's a let's say there's an individual who has cancer and it's going to cost a whole lot of money to take care of them, like lot of money,
Uh-huh.
should you fire them to save on the payroll or do the best that you can for your company to take care of them?
Well, ethically, you need to do the best for your company to take care of them. It's also a legal issue, so
Yeah, that's what you gotta explain to these people. Like that's
generally, ethics and legality go hand in hand. Generally,
well, that's because a lot of laws are
so
based on ethics.
yeah, because ethics are what you could argue are the morals of society. This is what society agrees as a whole is the way that right and wrong should be handled.
Right? Yeah.
Unfortunately, as I learned the hard way, ethics courses can be hard because sometimes the teacher you get also doesn't understand ethics.
Well, that's the thing, right? So
Because
my
I,
classes, they were teaching them, and the teacher, I don't know whether it was because of how they personally thought, or because of how they were used to their students thinking at this point. But the way they were teaching ethics in the class that I took at Champlain was not these are good ethics. These are the reasons why they're good. It's here are the ethics that we're expected to follow, and this is why it's costly not to.
But here's the thing. That's the only way to make those people understand. But that's just it, right?
Yeah,
I
it literally
was
is. Yeah.
there, and I heard someone in one of my ethics classes, and Sneaky, this is probably what you heard me complain about. One of them said, "Why is it wrong to fire the sick person? They're going to cost us a bunch of money."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Like-
I heard plenty of that shit. I even heard one dude say we should exterminate the Germans.
Oh yeah, in an ethics class. No. But that's just it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
In an ethics
the problem
class.
is, and I've said this time and again, there are two kinds of people in ethics classes. There are the people who are normal, well-adjusted, or have otherwise internalized the morals and values of society.
Yeah.
And the people that can't be taught.
Yeah, there was some fucked up people in that class, and it was like me and two other people who were totally normal people, and we just sat in the corner of the room in our own little fucking island and just watched as this pit of fucking snakes were like just talking about the most fucked up shit possible in the name of communication, propaganda, and profits.
Yeah.
And we're just always looking at each other just like, what the fuck are we hearing? And the teacher's there encouraging it because she's a fucking psycho herself.
And like that's the thing, right? Like I hate to say it that way, right?
Yep.
But it's just genuine psychopaths.
It's rough. But unfortunately, fan fiction doesn't get much better, but we're gonna try anyway. And by try anyway, I mean what the fuck do we even read, you know? What do we even read? Let's go movies. We haven't done movies in a while. Let's look at movies. Let's see what kind of movies we have access to here on the top list here. We got Jesus Christ, that's a lot of women. Let's try Star Wars. Let's see what Star Wars has for us. Oh, this could be bad. Okay. We got Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy fan novelization.
Oh no, leave Jedi Knight Jedi Academy alone.
Isn't that the video game?
Yes.
Why is that in movies?
Because it's a fan novelization, I guess.
Right, but there is a Star Wars section. I'm pretty sure there's a Star Wars section in games still. Did they finally compact them all? Star Wars. Star Wars. Star Wars games. Why is that in movies? Okay,
I don't know.
Whatever. Easy mistake to make, I guess. I guess they were thinking,
Well,
movies.
you know what? When there's 4 Star Wars sections?
Yeah, no, 3 now. They moved cartoons into, or they moved books into cartoons, or cartoons into books, or something.
Okay, that's okay, fine, but still, like unlike some of the places we get, there's genuinely actually 3 Star Wars sections.
Let's see here. We have 12 stories from State of Decay. I can't imagine why. With no core cast of characters. I mean, I guess you could technically say, State of Decay 2 had a core cast and their hero characters, but I don't know. You would think fanfiction would come out of State of Decay, but when you really sit down and think about it, all it really boils down to is here are the 5 characters that were in my base, and then we killed zombies, and then that's it. Because State of Decay doesn't have a fucking story. What the? Who the fuck? Sister, no. Let me go text my sister to make sure she doesn't. She thinks the call dropped. Let me. Okay. Sister. I'm on. Oh, sister. I'm surprised Pirates of the Caribbean's in 3rd place. I mean, that's to be the most generic ringtone I've ever heard. Well, it is the most generic ringtone because it is the ringtone that comes with the phone.
If it ain't broke.
Which, by the way, I'm gonna have to replace my phone soon. It died while I was at an on-site at 30% battery, so it's yeah, it's not.
It's finally at the end of its life, huh?
Yeah, I got it in
Good guess, 2015 or 16.
The Pixel 3. How old is the Pixel 3? The Pixel 3 came 2018. So it's been 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it turns out that when you don't break your phone, it works for a long time.
I mean, but I had my Windows phone for like 6 years. My Nokia Windows phone. I love that phone. Listen, Windows 7 or Windows 8. Listen, Windows 8, Vista, all those things, dog shit. Windows Mobile on Nokia, surprisingly competent.
Yeah. Damn, they're still selling these phones?
What, the Pixel?
Yeah, the Pixel 3. They're still selling these phones. $140.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not replacing it with another Pixel 3. God, no. I have a free upgrade, and I'm gonna fucking use it.
Fair enough.
Joe Biden and weird squid creature have sex. This is why he is not running for election. Male pregnancy.
Truly the site that keeps on giving.
AO3 is... It's an experience.
Remember when we were excited that you managed to get an invitation on there, Sneaky?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Before it got taken over.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Don't worry, guys. We'll make a fan fiction community, but it'll be a gated community, and unfortunately, someone gave the keys to the
To
wrong
idiots.
person.
Well, you know, the problem with gated communities is that sometimes they turn into mental asylums. And then they leave the door open. Personally, I feel like if you are posting a majority of your fics to AO3 exclusively, and or read AO3 fics exclusively, you should be placed in a internet lockout, and AO3 is the only website you're allowed to visit.
You know, used to be that was the acceptable thing to do. Was to just deal with AO3 and AO3 only. That lasted for what, 3 years, maybe?
A year.
A single year.
Mm-hmm. The problem is in the intervening months, between me getting the invitation on AO3, is the Great Purge happened on fanfiction.net. Which, by the way, I was fucking vindicated over.
Yeah.
But, so, for a long time, everyone here has heard me widely complain about how people keep brushing me off when I say that fanfiction.net has restrictions on what it's allowed to host on their website.
Yeah, restrictions for a reason.
And so, actually, the reason why they got taken down a couple weeks back is because somebody reported to GoDaddy the shit that's on fanfiction's website. And unlike fanfiction.net, GoDaddy was a lot more responsive to the child porn posted on fanfiction.net's website.
Yeah,
and
I can bet.
On top of that, GoDaddy took the stance that it doesn't matter that it's just words, it's a story about children being raped, and so therefore, it's child porn. So they delisted fanfiction.net. Now, don't get me wrong, GoDaddy is a fucking piece of shit company. But they weren't wrong.
They stepped up when it mattered.
God damn it.
They had one job.
They
succeeded.
You just made me think of the fucking shirt of I'm not the stepdad, I'm the father that stepped up.
No, we can't. I'm sorry, we can't give that to them.
No, they don't get no. They don't get that shirt. I'm not the domain hoster. I'm the domain hoster that stepped down. Yeah, about 10 fics were accused. Several of them were actually valid. Yes, some of them were valid. Now, fanfiction went on to say that, they were still hitting us and saying that we didn't take them all off. But the problem is that GoDaddy, having been alerted to the content on the website, likely did a very magical thing that I'm sure a lot of people don't do in this day and age, which is read and started clicking around to see if maybe there were other violations. And given some of the sections that I've displayed on this podcast, it wouldn't have been very hard to find some.
No, it would not.
So when fanfiction was like, we took down the ones that were mentioned, why are we still banned? GoDaddy was like, boy,
what about the rest?
You have taken down the ones that were called out. There is a lot more you haven't. How many fics are gone? They only took down 9 fics. They just switched providers. Instead of trying to actually do their job, They didn't find the Naruto section, otherwise FNet would be purged. There's always hope. It's just, you know, it's just, them not responding effectively is the equivalent of, no, you didn't. Who's the hosting service now? I don't know, Website Gator or something, I think. I mean, we can always just do a whoisfanfiction.net. Pork Bun LLC. Okay.
What?
What?
What is that?
It's the registrar.
That sounds like
I've
That
never
sounds like
heard
China.
of that. I'm just gonna do a quick search on this.
Yeah, porkbun.com. Who the fuck?
An oddly satisfying experience.
That is something.
I love that. Is Pork Bun a Chinese company?
Oh, where's it say that?
It's one of the people also ask section of Google.
Oh.
The name registrar is based out of Portland, Oregon. That doesn't mean anything.
That means they are, in fact, a Chinese company.
Oh, don't worry. It's based out of Portland, Oregon. Bitch, you think I don't know what a shell is?
Let's see how big their business is. Interesting. Oh, they're a small, tiny little shop in a strip mall.
Since the founder is Chinese. Thank you, top Reddit comment in a thread about pork bun review. It's really good. Oh.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, hey, look, there they are. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, yeah, wow. I'm sure they're a very sophisticated company hosting 2 million people as customers through a mere strip mall store. Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm sure they're legitimate. Yeah, I'm sure they won't harvest your information or seize your accounts or do anything crazy with that at all. No. They would never do that.
You know what?
Not my information. Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm okay with China harvesting all of the garbage fan fiction.
Yeah, I don't know. China has seized fanfiction.net.
Oh no, they're training they're training their AIs off of the Snape mpreg.
Oh no, not my information that totally isn't scraped by everyone already. Okay, and to be fair, it's probably being scraped by China by like 4 different sources. But that's not really the point. The point is more this is every company in China exists at the behest of the Chinese government. And at any time the Chinese government can actually say, you're just part of the government now. Here are your new standing orders. Do these things. And they'll do them. And then the US can say, hey, wait a second, that's illegal. And then China will say, what are you going to fucking do? And the US will say nothing. It's why I'm very skeptical about anything owned by China. Because every corporation is a branch of the Chinese government. just how it is.
Yeah. Well, to no one's surprise, Pork Bun LLC is not BBB accredited.
Oh wow.
They have an F on their
Mm.
rating, in fact, and the CEO is someone named Ray King.
Uh-huh.
Raking in cash. Hey!
Bro, that's like listen. That is on the level of this is probably one of my favorite. I'm running some friends of mine in real life through the Waterdeep heist.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what they made one of Jarlaxle's fucking disguise names, Sneaky?
Normal thief.
JB Never Caught.
JB never caught. That's like actually terrible.
It's the the name is such a, my favorite part is it's such a shitpost of a name and it fits the man perfectly.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like more effort could have gone into that.
Okay, you're not wrong, but like they're doing this. He's giving this name to a bunch of like level 3 players who definitely have no idea who he is. Like in game at least, have no idea who he is.
Yeah, but like you could have made it been like, you know, I mean, he'll let me write it out. It could have been like, you know, could have made it like that, you know.
Well, I was gonna say I typed that's how it's actually spelled in the book.
Okay, yeah. See, like there's two ways you could have done it, right? Like there is other ways. I just think JB never caught. I think what I'm complaining about the most mentally is the never caught part.
You know, they could.
I mean, to be fair, it's mostly accurate still.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think I would have just cut the JB part out, just made it Neve R. Caught.
Yeah. Hey guys, my name's Neve. What? Yeah, well, technically my name's Nevar, but you know, call me Neve. Say, what's your last name, by the way? Caught? Never caught?
That would actually trip several players up until they actually like
exactly
stare
at it while drunk and like, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
To be clear, anyone who's like the best part about this is these are some people they played some D&D, but they have 0 Forgotten Realms knowledge, Sneaky.
Ah, yes, great. You should introduce the definitely trusty thief. What the fuck was his name? Artie? Was his name Artie?
I don't know.
Who was the fucking assassin that was trying to kill...
Oh, Artemis and Terry, I think?
Yeah. And it got shortened to Artie at some point. Maybe in my mind. But anyway. Yeah, there's some great fucking ones you can make. Like, I always do enjoy a good, solid pun name.
Listen, here's the thing. I'm just waiting for the guy who's read a couple of the Drizzt books to find out. The best part is, no prompting. One of my characters did, in fact, choose to be a drow male. Which just makes this all the funnier. It's just going to make this all the funnier when I finally get to do the big reveal.
I fucking love Jarlax.
Listen, he is every Spirit of Chaos player who makes it to level 20. What are you gonna do now? I'm just gonna fuck around for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna wear 5 belts, 3 pairs of shoes, gonna have 3 pairs of gloves on me, 2 hats, and an eye patch, all enchanted. Also 5 shirts. One of the shirts is enchanted with cooling me off.
What's the other 4 enchantments? One of them is there to highlight my glistening abs.
Yeah, it's just like it is quite literally the peak 3.0 character, and precisely why they put equipment rules into the game.
Yeah.
Of no, you can't just wear 5 belts. Yes, I know you technically can, but you cannot wear 5 belts. Yes, I know you cannot wear 20 rings. I hated 5e's. Honestly, I hated 5e's attunement. That shit was so weak.
Here's the thing. I understand why they did attunement. I don't agree with it. I understand why they did it.
They just nerfed the entire system, and it's so crap now. They took away the weeb fighting magic, which made marshals even parody remotely to casters, and then they took away the magic items, which was the other way you got to parody with the magic casters. It's just like, okay, so I guess this is just a game of fucking wizards now, okay? Woo, so fun. Anyway, let's see what else we got in this fucking Star Wars section. A twist in the Force. I can't help but notice no one's writing fan fiction about anything that's come out recently. Okay, so I take that back. The third story was the sequel trilogy, but in my defense, it was, this is how I think the trilogy should have gone, which I personally feel like is not writing about the trilogy that came out after Disney. I feel like that's a intentional snubbing of the trilogy. I don't know, just honestly, you'll probably have better luck on AO3 for that sort of shit. Well, yeah, but it's on AO3 for a reason. If I wanted to swim through blood-filled feces, I'll go to AO3. That's just how AO3 be. A twist in the Force. Just before Anakin Skywalker descended into darkness, he is transported back in time, into the future, before the beginning of A New Hope. With no way to get back in time, the Chosen One resolves that he is the only hope to save the galaxy from a terrible darkness, and he doesn't know where Darth Vader came from. But he will kill Darth Vader and kill the Emperor and save the galaxy. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you would need to work on a pre-Palpatine Anakin. Because, like, Palpatine really worked him over.
Yeah.
And if this is just before he descended into darkness...
Here's the problem. Just before Anakin descends into darkness is episode 2 minimum.
Well, not just episode 2 minimum. We're talking like into the Clone War cartoon. We're talking like,
No, realistically, you have to start from episode 2 and stop him from killing an entire village of civilians.
I thought he killed them in episode 3.
No.
Oh shit.
No, he kills them in episode 2.
Okay, then yeah, you have to prevent the. So yeah, you have to go like way fucking back for him to.
The start of Anakin falling into darkness is episode 2. He has visions that his mother is in danger. He gets there. He finds out she's been taken over, or she's been kidnapped by the Sand People. He goes and finds the Sand People. He finds his mother has been tortured to within an inch of her life, and she dies in front of him and goes, "I love you, Annie." And then he kills every single person in that village. Not right. I don't necessarily. Okay, I do fault him because he shouldn't have killed the children, at least. Depending on the society, the women may not have had much of a say in it.
Yeah. If this is going to be the same society of Sand People that we have seen in the past, I'm really going to because we all know who the Sand People are based on.
Well, it's not just that, right? We have examples in the books of what they did,
true,
how
also.
they behaved and
Yeah.
created,
But,
right? Everything that happened with fucking Tahiri
yes.
from the Junior Jedi Knight, but like all of that stuff, right? We have all of that stuff. But anyway, right? So you have all that stuff. So yeah, I don't necessarily blame him if he killed all of the warriors. But yeah, the fact is, killing an entire village, men, women, and children.
Not just the men, but the women and children too. I'm sorry, but oh, speaking of fan fiction. Yeah, speaking of fan fiction and not learning from your mistakes, apparently Doctor Who just announced they're going to be doing another spin-off, and the main character is going to be a black woman, and it's going to be about how awesome this black woman is and how she's going to save the world because she's black and a woman. So yeah, that's good for them, I guess. Good for them. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, listen, the point is you have to go all the way back to episode 2 in order to stop Anakin from going to the dark side, because realistically you have to be in that village, or right, either you have to prevent his mother from getting kidnapped, or you have to be in that village from there and be like, okay, I understand you're upset. Killing a bunch of women and children is probably not the route you should go, bud.
I think they're gender equal. If you can fight, you fight. If I recall from my old Star Wars fact book, I mean, it's been so long since I read that fact book, I couldn't tell you if you were right on that one. But I don't think that I think if that was true, it probably was retconned, because they made Anakin make a big deal over him killing the women and children too, which wouldn't have been a big deal to someone like Anakin if they were combatants.
Yeah, if they came at him with, fucking gaffy sticks raised, yeah, he would have no problem killing them. Now, of course, there were definitely like little quote unquote child warriors that would have come at him. You are a Jedi.
Yes. That would have been different. But no, he specifically was agonizing over killing the women and children. That was the fact book for episode 2. Oh. Okay. Wow. I don't have anything to say to that then. Alright. One of those Scholastic picture books? Then I never read that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, listen, it's a fucking Scholastic's book, mate.
But yeah, no, you would have to go really far, because I mean, if you're talking about Anakin right before he does all the fucked up shit, aside from the Sand People, Palpatine would just contact him immediately and be like, Lamau, time for Darth Vader round 2. Like, wouldn't even be an hour before he was on the dark side again. So, yeah, you're gonna have to go really far back if you want to convince me that Anakin Skywalker actually, this time with limbs. Yeah, you have to go real far back if you want to convince me that Anakin would actually try and save the world's galaxy. Star Wars
anyway.
sequel trilogy rescripted V2 more readable version.
What?
Don't worry about it. Man, I hate the sequel trilogy. The movies really disappoint me, and I know it disappointed other people. After the last one, I wrote a better script where Finn becomes the hero and Rey becomes the new emperor. Deviates completely from the original, and the Republican and the Republican Empire both get Death Stars.
Okay, hang on.
I consider this an improvement. Check my story out if you were disappointed too. 31 chapters, 100k words, 13 favorites.
Okay. This could be better than the middle of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
But why are they both getting Death Stars? The Republic wouldn't want anything to do with that after what happened the last 2 times.
All right, let's
I'm sorry, was one of the reviews asking for the author's email?
yeah.
What the fuck?
Wow, so this really is just a script.
What's up?
This
Why is someone posting the new Star Wars movie scripts as fan fiction?
This is really just a script. And it's a bunch of, it's not even like a continuous script either. It's a time skip between a bunch of cool scenes he imagined in his mind for the movie.
Without telling us what the scenes are.
Or that there's a time
no.
skip.
Script number 3, scene 130, Finn faces the Empress Rey.
No, that's the problem. Like, bro, you can't be like, oh, don't worry, guys. I've created a script that's better. It's like, okay. Would you like to show us the script instead of assuming we can read your fucking mind over the internet?
No, you get to read prompts.
No, you just get to read the script.
Okay, but where's the rest of it?
Fuck you, that's where it is.
Fair enough.
Oh God. Yeah, script 1. It's not even in order of the scenes either, because like the previous scene was script 3, scene 130. This scene here is script 1, scene 111, known as Great Haggling.
Anyway, that's
God, this is fucking painful too. So the scene is the witch's den. Poe has been dragging an unconscious Finn for some time. He is drained. Finn's armor has been taken off to reduce weight. I mean, the Stormtrooper armor doesn't weigh a lot.
I would say, believe it or not, Stormtrooper armor is explicitly designed to not weigh a lot.
If I remember correctly, Star Wars armor in general just does not weigh a lot because blasters go right through it no matter how much it weighs. So it depends on...
No, actually, blasters don't go right through it. It's just the specific blaster Han Solo was using does. The rifles that the Stormtroopers carry specifically are meant to go through it. And in fact, I'm pretty sure Atin could back me up on this, is that in the opening scene when they breach Leia's ship, the Stormtroopers are seen taking multiple shots from the pistols.
They do take some shots from the pistols, but largely the rebel marksmen, the rebel guards at the time just happened to be holding the movie idiot ball.
Yes.
But generally speaking, the rebellion had an incredibly difficult time in any kind of pitched conflict simply because they were limited to sport and self-defense blasters for the most part, which Stormtrooper armor was specifically designed to counter. The thing that people forget is the DL-44 in the Star Wars universe is the Star Wars universe equivalent of a fucking 50 cal.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. It's the fun one.
It is literally called a heavy blaster pistol, which I know that doesn't mean a whole lot to anybody, right? But the whole point of it is this isn't just a 357. This isn't just a 44. This is when Harry Dresden pulls out the 50 caliber Magnum and decides that over there dies.
Yeah, and not only that, you got to keep in mind is that the Rebel Alliance also had access to inferior gas sources because all of these weapons fire gas.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
by the way, just a quick thing that
Another
everybody
point
needs to
towards
remember.
slug thrower, its superiority.
No. I mean, A, slug throwers aren't going through stormtrooper armor. B, that's a really important thing to point out about like Star Wars interacting with like any other universe. The blasters aren't lasers.
Yeah.
They are literally tiny plasma guns. That's why like a bunch of stormtroopers can actually go and kill a bunch of space marines. Because assuming the stormtroopers aren't being given the idiot ball and told to miss, they're all really good shots and they're all firing tiny little bits of plasma. Which, like, don't get me wrong, stormtrooper armor's great, and bolters will dunk on stormtrooper armor, but space marines aren't going to be able to walk through a hail of plasma bolts.
Yeah, no, it's like actually going to do damage to their armor. Yeah.
Well, not just damage to their armor. It's generally going to go through their armor and hit them, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is this?"
I mean,
their armor is rated for some plasma shots, though.
It depends on how direct of a hit that plasma is. I mean,
okay, but it doesn't change the fact that we can assume the plasma's qualities are similar between two universes.
Yeah, that's true.
Plasma is, for the most part, plasma's plasma.
Yes, but the thing is that there is a heat index to plasma, and the method of encapsulation of the plasma definitely would change between the Star Wars universe and the 40K universe. Like Melta plasma is a lot more like Covenant plasma in that it's a loose magnetic shell around a ball of plasma.
Well, no, you got to remember, Meltas Melta guns are fusion energy, like they're fusion beams.
Right, but that's still plasma. It's still firing plasma.
Yes, I know it's still plasma, but yes, you are correct. A plasma weapon from 40K is much closer to a plasma weapon from any of the Halo universes where it's a ball encapsulated by a invisible magnetic bottle, essentially.
Yeah,
magnets win again.
Yes.
And then compared to Star Wars, which again, correct me if I'm wrong here because you're more of the expert on this, but as far as I'm aware, when it comes to Star Wars, that the different color beams are based both on the quality of the gas used, and the pressure that the bolt is under, and what separates a disruptor pistol from a normal pistol is the amount of pressure that the beam is being condensed into.
So color. Right. So color-wise, yes, it did have some to do with quality, but also there was simply different kinds of gas from different planets that had different color. Like a red laser was not necessarily inherently inferior to a green one.
Right.
Yeah, it just depends on where it got the gas from, which is also why Naboo, I believe, got blockaded.
Some of it matters.
Because it had a lot of good gas.
Does matter, but you could also do things like put additives in that. Like there was I forget what, but there was certain clone troopers who were sent on stealth ops. They were given a special mix of gas that was you only got like 300 shots out of it compared to the like
3,000
thousands of shots you normally get from any other blaster. But it was colorless and lost no power.
Yep.
So it was literally an invisible death gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Today I learned Star Wars had the traditional death ray in it.
It was automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that
but it was
part.
only it was 300 shots of automatic death.
That doesn't matter. That's 300 shots of automatic death.
It was 300 shots of It was 300 shots of dodged it. Like that's the kind of thing. Like
the
I would
invisible dodgeball.
Nah, I dodge.
Yeah, no.
That's,
Sneaky disruptor weapons were weird. They were we don't know a ton about them. They are continuous directed energy weapons that tore things apart at the molecular level.
Was it ever an explanation for sonic weapons and how those came about?
Oh yeah, those are. I mean,
they're
we have
sonic weapons
today.
Yeah, I know, Sonic, but some of the stuff they do is like, it's at such a high frequency and force that compared to like what we got. Yeah, I know it's sci-fi, but
that's just it, right? Like that's the short answer is sonic weapons exist today. Sci-fi takes care of the rest because you can't. Right. The fact is, right now, if I took a bunch of speakers. If I took like concert speaker subwoofers and I had an unlimited energy budget, I can kill people with. You can kill people with a Metallica concert.
Yeah, if I played that Def Rapper that I just saw that my friend showed me from TikTok, then yeah, I could kill people's eardrums as well.
No, not their eardrums.
Nah, kill. I know the force of the sound hitting their organs.
Yeah.
Will literally kill them. Like
vibrates your water.
Quite literally, we will be conducting a vibe check.
You will be vibe checked in 3, 2.
Your water is vibing. How are you alive? You're wrong.
Your water has been successfully vibed. How do you feel?
Built wrong.
But yeah, so disruptors were weird. Again, blasters are weird because part of it does have to do with the gas. It's not something we ever got like
in-depth explanation for you.
Yeah,
and the only real
one
time
of the
we
only
probably
things
could have would have been in Clone Wars, which is done and gone. So
yeah.
Like modern day, they're not really interested in explaining that sort of shit, even though.
And here's the thing: Star Wars, in and of itself, gets it kind of wrong because they're called particle beams.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Which it's like no, you're wrong.
And you're wrong in a way that offends me, so I'm gonna tell you how you're wrong.
Unfortunately, it is arcanotech. Because like disruptor weapons were really only around for the Old Republic era.
Yeah.
So, that was the thing, wasn't it? They're like,
the Old Republic
that's a super rare gun you have there. Please don't use it.
Yeah, no, it was basically. I'm not surprised.
Well, no, they were still in production by the time of like Star Wars, like regular Star Wars. They were just super illegal, And they were illegal to such a degree that even Palpatine didn't want to bring them back because, as far as Palpatine was concerned,
they could be used on him.
Yeah, they could be used on him, right? My stormtroopers are, functionally speaking, immune to small arms fire. Why would I risk people getting pistols that can kill them?
Right.
Yep.
Not only that, the whole destroy all evidence thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
also,
so
discussing this makes me realize that Mandalorian Beskar is way more impressive of a sci-fi metal.
Beskar is hilarious.
Bullshit.
It's also my favorite because it's like it's heavy as fuck, but you're not getting through that without some real concerted effort.
You know what I really like about Beskar, actually? Beskar is Mandalorian iron, okay? And Mandalorian iron comes from a specific planet in the Mandalorian sector. And it's literally just iron, but it be different.
Iron be different, but not just be different. Treated in a specific way.
Yeah, well, obviously, treated in a specific way, yeah.
I also like that there are tiers of like how big of a dick have you got as a Mandalorian, because it's like Beskar can be flattened pretty thin and still hold up against.
Well, I mean, the typical way of doing it was the laminate shit with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but then there's the guys who's like, no, my entire armor is Beskar. Yeah, and I'm sorry, you're walking around with like a half-inch thick Beskar all over. Yep.
It's
How
like
are
the
you
guy
doing?
who it's like the guy who waddles out in full gold armor, except actually the gold armor gives him immunity to everything you have.
Yeah, right.
Like,
That's
even-
part of
'cause
the
Beskar
reason. That's
even
part of the reason that
resisted-
Mandalorian Crusaders are so fucking terrifying.
Mhm.
Because
yeah.
they
Yeah.
were wearing
Beskar.
full
It was full
Beskar from
Yeah.
head to
That's
fucking like.
Doesn't
yeah.
Beskar also have like a outrageously high melting point, so it can even resist lightsabers and turning into
Yes.
Oh yeah, no.
Like
no,
I
Large
said,
from it.
like even thinned out and laminated, it can resist
God,
lightsabers
fighting anyone,
pretty well.
fighting Mandalorian Crusaders was just the worst.
Yeah.
Such a high
Honestly,
DR.
I think my I don't remember if this
The
was the
only
Mandalorian.
reason you
God.
could even hurt them is because the Crusaders didn't have like full body coverage. For that, you go to the original Crusader army, because what you're looking at is the Neo Crusader armor. The full Crusader armor was, I am wearing plate mail. I have 0 joint actuation. I cannot die.
The original Crusader
Yeah.
armor was someday love will find you.
Human male fighter for the win.
Human male fighter Star Wars. Let's go.
Yeah, but
If I
yeah,
remember
no,
correctly,
like
the only way I think
Oh,
sonic
man.
weapons, they don't have a resistance to sonic weapons, and that's the only way to really hurt them, I believe, if I remember right. Or am I wrong on
That's
that?
because sonic weapons don't really hit the armor; they
Yeah.
hit the person inside the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say
so-
they're one of the more effective ways to do it. One of my personal favorite. I'm trying to find it. One of my personal favorite.
I just realized if it's magnetic, magnets are a way to beat Beskar armor as well. The power of
it
magnets
is not
has
magnetic.
It is. Yeah. It's
No,
not there.
Thank God.
Yeah, no.
The power of
it's-
magnets was getting too high already.
Beskar is one of the most bullshit sci-fi metals to exist, and I
Oh,
love
it's absolute nonsense.
I don't remember
all-
if this was
yeah.
like a fan fiction I read a long time ago, if it was a Mandalorian somewhere in the universe, but like it's like, oh yeah, I don't wear Beskar except for my 2 gauntlets. And the gauntlets are full Beskar because I'm gonna hit you with 10 pounds of force, bare knuckled,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna like it.
Oh
I
yeah,
would say-
crush gaunts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
crush
like
gaunts.
the only Beskar I own is on my 2 hands, and that's it.
I would say my personal favorite is this particular version of Mandalorian armor, where
Oh yeah.
like listen,
That's not bad.
I don't like. I'm not honest. I'll be honest. I'm not sold on the helmet. I'm not sold on giving up the T-slot visor. I'm a big fan of pretty much everything else. I'm not a huge fan of the 2 like
I feel
almost
like I've seen that armor on
Gundam-ass
a
looking
Helldiver.
antenna.
To be
I feel
fair,
like I've
they
seen
are, to be fair, they are comms antenna.
I know. Well, one's a rangefinder, one's con. I know.
Oh
but
right, Killionaire, because Mandalorians
Yeah,
are so good
yeah.
at following
Following
laws.
Republic laws.
by the way,
love that.
just remember, by the time the Yuzon Vong rolled around, Boba Fett had gotten Mandalore back enough on its feet that A, they were producing warships and picket ships laminated with Beskar, and B, they built no, Max, they took it one better. They built
I didn't know that.
They built a starfighter. This starfighter followed the TIE fighter philosophy of fuck shields, but it was made out of Beskar. It was not laminated with Beskar. It
Made
was
of it.
made of it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy because that also follows my favorite rule of sci-fi, which is, who cares what this thing is made out of? It's made for space, not atmosphere.
Oh yeah, no. The best part, they would
Also, I love that.
assault
Fuck the
starships.
It's
They
fuck
would get
shield in
hit
the
with-
exact opposite. I love that. So
They would get hit with turbo laser, directly hit with like Star Destroyer turbo lasers. And all that happened was a Team Rocket is blasting off montage.
I really appreciate that moment of like, all right, so we're saying no shields. Why? Because you are the shield.
Because your DR rating is currently at 99%. Oh,
It's also
okay.
why I laugh whenever I read a fic and the character or self-insert or
Also-
whatever is like, oh,
oh.
I've made this amazing magical weapon
You know
metal
what?
that I'm making everything I own out of it, and then I just read what it does, and I'm like, that's still worse than Beskar.
Yeah.
I
True.
also just
Yeah,
realized that starfighter probably cost more than 2 of those warships because it's pure best.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, they
That
were
star's
ungodly
expensive
expensive.
as
They were like
100%,
million.
yeah, 100%,
I mean,
but it kills
it's
10
free
of those
for
warships
it's
easily.
free for the Mandos because they pretty much control the supply. But it's just like Jesus
But
Christ, guys.
that's
That's like
what brings
3
me
fleets
back
you
to
just
it, right?
produced.
And
What the fuck?
that's why I like Beskar compared to other fantasy metals of like, oh, the metal is just everywhere, and for some reason no one uses it,
No,
despite it being amazing.
It's in this
like,
one spot, and only the greatest mercenaries in the galaxy use it because they control it.
Beskar and Frick are both metals that are normal metals, but they're altered because it's an entire fucking galaxy. Did you really think iron was going to be the same on every single planet?
Mhm.
I mean, it is for like 95% of the planets, but on some planets it turns into Frick, and on some planets it's Beskar. And
On some planets, it's fuck you 'em.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, there is normal metal that just because of the sheer random chance of reality forming is just like
Which
a different
actually doesn't-
isotope of the normal metal that formed, and it does weird things, and that's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
And it
cool
does
as
the
well.
thing that's
Like,
it does the thing that everyone who is a writer or has enjoyed fantasy or science fiction is like, they tell you it's like it's this metal, but it's different,
Yes.
and they tell you just.
like it. I
Sneaky's
can
biggest
understand.
complaint about Ruby's weapons, they don't say it's
Mhm.
built different. They
Oh,
just
And
leave
I'm
it as
sorry.
Star
assumption.
Wars does that frequently. They're like, yeah, that thing's built different. It's made out of Beskar. And you go, oh shit, it's made out of Beskar. Fuck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
like,
I
I
forgot.
can understand them not doing that for every planet because that is just not worth the work.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no, it's not worth the work, but if you need a
Like
fantasy
saying
metal, you
that
got
iron,
99,000
saying
fucking
that iron
planets.
found on like volcano planets have
Okay.
a higher melting temp. Yeah, that makes sense and shit like that.
Yeah, well, Star Wars did it best where it's like, listen, there's all kinds of metals. There's really only 2 that matter. Cortosis weave
Yeah.
and Beskar.
Yep.
If something's made out of one of these 2 things,
Hey, Frick isn't that bad.
good luck.
Yeah, I would just say
I-
Frick is
here's the thing,
lightsaber resistant.
here's the thing, I've never actually heard the term frick until now.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
like, if you've got something made out of one of these 3
Frick
materials,
is-
like, all right, you're good luck. You're on
Frick
your
is
own.
basically the cheapo Beskar.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
By the way, I forgot. This will only make sense to a couple of people.
Walmart
but
Beskar.
Sneaky. They made this with the Verpin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
They cooperated with the Bug Boys to make this one.
All right. I vibe.
Also,
That makes sense.
this may be one of my favorites. One of the first shots, one of the first ones piloted, was piloted by Luke Skywalker against his nephew's Star Destroyer. He won.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the Beskar?
Yeah, the best
Star
version.
Destroyer?
Beskar ship.
Yep.
Would you mind sharing that with the class?
Yeah, do we have a picture of it anywhere? Did they ever
No,
make a picture?
sadly, it is book only. There
Ooh.
there are
fuck.
no pictures of this mad lad of a fighter. But
The best like
Yeah, the best are like, okay, yeah.
but again, this is the kind of thing. So the fighters are deployed as combat led by Fett in person to destroy some factories on behalf of the Verpin. They were so confident in this that Boba Fett called ahead and told them exactly what they were going to target and exactly where they were going.
Yep.
They shot it
Yep.
with normal fighters. It wasn't doing anything.
Mhm.
They had an entire fleet, including capital ships bombard them.
Capital shit.
99% of the shots ricocheted.
Yep.
They didn't
Oh.
just hit it and keep going. Ricochet. I want you to think about that, gentlemen. There you are, the gunner of your nice, fancy capital class vessel. And you hit this fighter dead on, and you see your shot bounce.
Oh, we're fucked.
And suddenly,
I-
over the radio,
I'm
Freebird
now
starts playing.
I'm
Oh,
actually remembering excerpts of that now and remembering like, oh yeah, Luke Skywalker is one of the best pilots in the galaxy, and he's now toying with his nephew turned Sith. Just as a like, I could end this at any point, but it's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Damn,
no,
that's
it
what I'm
was.
stuck in my head.
I missed the expanded universe because it's like,
The
yeah,
only
here's what a real Jedi Master looks like after like 50 years, guys.
One of the only reasons Luke didn't go fight his nephew was because he was worried he couldn't do it without falling to the dark side, and I think there was some prophecy that, I need to let the Sword of the Jedi do it. By the way,
Yeah.
just
I'm pretty sure that's what, like I said, when he was fighting the Star Destroyer, he made it very clear he was messing around and that he could stop this at any point, but it wasn't his place to do so.
I gotta
I
say,
remember Jason being confused, like, why isn't he? What the fuck, Uncle?
why am I not winning?
Why aren't you go? Why are you running? Where are you going? Finish this, you fucking bitch!
Just I gotta take a moment to complain.
Mhm.
You threw out Jaina Solo.
Yeah.
You threw out the Sword of the Jedi. What may possibly be one of the most badass titled characters in the Star Wars universe, who was also a woman, and you threw her out.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you do? By the way, she was so good in one-on-one combat that at the age of like, I don't know, she's like 25 or whatever when she and Jason are going at it. Luke is like, I can't win. Like if it was just a duel, I would lose.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget the one thing that was noted in the novels as well, where it was she was able to use Mace Windu's style
Lightsaber.
that he
Oh,
developed.
Picard. The
Yeah.
one that's based around getting
The
dark
one
side.
that's literally I'm going to skirt the line of light and dark.
The one that is, I am at 0.1% dark side.
Yeah.
She was able to learn his style and use it effectively and learn his Shatterpoint technique that I don't know if it was ever mentioned outside of
Clone
two
Wars.
things in the Clone Wars saga.
Yeah,
I think it didn't also show up in the books.
I'm including that in the books. and
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It's I had never heard of the Shatterpoint until the book where it mentions that she'd been training in Mace Windu's style and techniques. It's like, oh wow, yeah, that's right. Mace Windu was a fucking badass.
I forget where.
Yeah.
There's a book about Mace Windu. Like he's on a planet, and somebody ambushes Mace Windu in the fucking bathroom after he gets out of the shower,
Yeah, that was a
and
mistake.
he beats their ass.
Yes, Peter.
To be clear, naked Mace Windu beats somebody's ass in the shower because they come in fully armed. They're like, yes, the perfect time to ambush the Jedi Master is after he finishes the shout, which, I mean, fair shout. But
Good
there's even a
idea.
point in Windu's internal monologue where he's like, most people are hesitant or afraid when they're naked. I don't give a fuck.
I love that so much. Congratulations, you have unironically picked the second most dangerous master on the council to do this to. Good job. By the way, the second most dangerous would be the most dangerous, if not for the fact that Yoda's terrifying.
Yeah. Okay. So the Solo
It can be
children were born 10 ABY, 10 years after the Battle of Yavin. By the time she goes to kill by the time she has to kill her brother, that happens somewhere in the year 40 after the Battle of Yavin. So she's 30 something. To be clear, she and her sibling are 30 something by the time Luke Skywalker's like, If I would lose to both of them, and if it was just a Force duel, I probably lose to Jason. And if it's just a lightsaber duel, I probably lose to Jaina.
Yeah.
But anyway, point being though is cool characters, cool
Cool
stuff.
characters, you
Also,
threw them out.
Killian are out here mentioning they threw out Mara Jade. Who?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
you're gonna throw
I've
out
ranted-
Mara Jade?
Yeah,
I've ranted about Mara Jade
Yeah.
so many times.
you have.
Like,
Yeah, don't bring up Mara Jade.
Dude,
But
I
yeah,
I
like
missed
Max
when new
said.
Star Wars stuff respected the Jedi and respected the Sith and respected the people
Well,
caught in doing this.
I mean, you
Like-
know, Acolyte was such a fucking shit show. They made the Jedi evil. Yoda a pedophile? Question mark. Also, Yoda apparently is now canonically. This was not part of canon that they added, but much like with Hogwarts Legacy, the time period in
took some
between,
liberty.
there was only one person in charge. Apparently, Yoda went on a purging spree of getting the minorities out of the Jedi Order.
Base.
Jesus.
Mm,
That's right.
yeah. Also, I've now seen a couple of the fights just in clips from
They're
Acolyte,
terrible.
and I don't like the people like the choreographer's like, no, it's not. Also, the first fight you see between the would-be assassin and the Jedi Master, and they're like, wow,
It's
this
so bad.
assassin's really good. I'm like, no, the assassin's not good. The
You're
Master's
bad.
just garbage.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. For most of the fight, it's very clear that the Jedi Master is trying not to kill them.
Yes.
And she's basically clowning on the assassin. Cool. Great. You even get some neat looking Force dodges. But, one night, I complained about this the day that I watched
Yep.
it. I can stop one knife. I can even stop 5 knives that are coming right at me. But one knife go at civilian, one knife go at heart. Oh no! What do?
Yeah.
Well, my bigger
Uh.
issue was one, lightsabers would not stop a knife. In fact, you've now created the exact problem that Mandalorians like using slug throwers against Jedi for a reason.
Well, it's not only that. Also,
It's because now there's molten metal flying
yeah.
at their
Well,
face.
not on top of all of that, they had characters multiple times get stabbed by lightsabers and not die.
And then they just stab once, and all of a sudden they drop dead, unable to be saved or do anything other than look dramatic.
Yeah. It's just so
Uh,
lame.
Yeah. Also, the Jedi, it's like, lady, if you have enough control of the Force to do what you're doing, and you're apparently accomplished enough to be a Jedi Master, why was your first reaction not to wrap this bitch up in the Force and cocoon her?
Yeah.
Because the main character is the wife of the director.
Like, it's like, as much as I despise Filoni and how he has ruined several aspects of Star Wars I loved, at least he gives the Jedi he gives the Jedi and Sith the respect they deserve, which is, to normal people, these guys are terrifying. I've seen the clip
Mm.
of Mandalorian season 2 of Luke Skywalker showing up,
Mm.
That's an amazing.
and it's
That
just
whole thing's amazing.
it's just like, oh yeah, Jedi are fucking monsters compared to Jedi and Sith are monsters compared to normal people, because
Mhm.
he's walking through these death robots like they're nothing.
Yeah.
They're paper at best. They have mildly inconvenienced him, and he's upset about it.
Well, yeah, it's like the Darth Vader. Listen, the Darth Vader scene at the end of what's the
Rogue
movie?
One? Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Rogue One.
Mhm.
That's an
That-
amazing scene.
That was a great scene.
It's a good scene. Vader got all the gravitas that he deserved.
But anyway,
And
so,
Acolyte didn't do that with the Sith or the Jedi.
yeah. So as Max said, I'm gonna
Except
wrap
for the
this
witches
up.
that can get themselves pregnant and make Anakin
Yeah, we're not gonna
Skywalker
talk
not
about
that
that.
important.
Yeah, we're ignoring that.
We were gonna ignore that. So to wrap it up, though, as was what Max said earlier, is why I hate Ruby about so much. Is like they have access to all these fantasy materials in Ruby. Yeah, they don't have access to other planets, but they have access to fantasy materials. Are you really gonna say like all it took? Oh yeah, we fired this iron with fire and earth dust, and it created dust steel, and that's why our weapons are tougher.
Some sort of alloy.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all you needed. You don't even need to describe the process. You don't need to describe how much you need to use. You just say, oh, yeah, we use these fantasy materials, and then this totally normal material, iron, it turned into the fantasy material dust steel, and it just cuts better, it has higher tolerances, it can bend, it can do whatever the fuck you want.
They really should have done something for the metals, because they did take the time to mention that dust weaving and dust infusion was a thing for clothes.
Right, exactly. Like they did it for clothes, but they couldn't fucking do it for the main
Weapons.
selling point of the series.
Yeah. No, they can't.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Anyway, so so apparently Ray in this story gets turned into this like dark witch. So
wait,
Poe,
hey, when was the story published?
2020. It was published 2023, but he claims to have finished it in 2020.
Okay, and he just updated an hour ago as
With another chapter. Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that 2020 at all.
Still before the Acolyte.
With the state of the current Star Wars fandom, I'm wondering if he's like, I'm gonna take the witch's idea from Acolyte instead of doing the Dathomiri.
No, this is the first chapter.
He could have gone back and re-edited that.
Yeah, he could have gone back, but
Maybe that's what was updated an hour ago.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? So anyway, as Poe gets closer to the witch's den, he sees blaster craters and objects floating in the air. Poe looks quizzically at his surroundings, wondering how dehydrated he really is. Suddenly, a red rifle shot hits in front of Poe. By the way, I fucking hate the Acolyte writers because they refer to everything as lasers.
Yeah.
They call all of the weapons laser guns.
Lasers.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
I also hate the Ubisoft game, the Outlaw game, because they are also treating the pistols as laser pistols. And they don't have recoil because they show off how her pistol just fires like 100 shots in a second and it has zero recoil. But for some reason the shots go wild, but there's no recoil.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Why would the shots go wild? Listen, I'm fine with it being like,
Or
yeah, no, the blasters have little to no recoil because we've seen it. Even some of the stronger blasters that you can carry reasonably don't have too much recoil. But if there's no recoil, there should be no wild shots. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Listen, an E-Web having wild shots, I believe it. That thing's big. It's firing massive balls of plasma. They literally have to set it up on a tripod.
Yeah. Turbo cannons have massive recoil.
Yeah. Yes, we've gotten to see that in several things where the barrels, depress.
Yeah.
With the shots.
Bringing his focus to the Star Destroyer. Whoa. The unseen shooter's voice is female. Her voice is commanding and calm. Ray, stop there and state your business. Poe. All right. I was told by my friend you can heal wounds or something, can you? Ray, where is your payment? Poe, I have nothing on me. A second shot lands closer to the heroes. Ray, die elsewhere. Poe, hey, I'm a Republic elite, eh? You heard of that out here in nowhere? It means credits, lots of credits, more than you can even count. So nothing now, nothing on me, but everything you want after you heal him. Ray, you're both with the Republic. Poe, yeah, totally. That's right.
What
We're
the hell?
Republic spies.
What did I fucking come back to?
I'm reading the scene out.
Oh god. By the way, I just want to say, real quick.
Yeah.
You know what? Actual credit to the Paris Olympics.
Yeah.
The guy that they had put the torch in at the very end was doing a bunch of parkour, and he was wearing an Assassin's Creed outfit.
That's cool.
So that was kind of cool to watch, like the last 3 minutes of.
Oh yeah, the other thing we were just talking about is that Outlaws and Acolyte both had their creators refer to the weapons as laser guns.
Mm.
Yeah, well, to be fair, in universe, people call them laser blasters sometimes, and that's like they've attributed that to people being stupid.
That's fair.
Because you do have lasers.
Mhm.
Yes, turbo laser. Yeah.
Well, not just that. Well, no, turbo lasers are still using prismatic, are still using Tabana gas.
Man,
Oh
they
no,
really
I'm
got
sorry.
to-
No, you're right. Those were just directed
Yeah.
energy weapons.
Yeah. You all right there, Adam?
Man, there's so much dumb shit in here.
Mm.
Because they did have like actual like there were some blasters that were lasers.
Yeah, didn't the Republic Commandos use one? A blaster pistol that was like their backup or whatever that shot laser instead?
Yeah. That one was like lasers because it like you could recharge it very easily. And
Yeah.
it didn't need the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you ever want to needlessly challenge yourself
The
and
infinite
feel
ammo
like a
pistol.
badass,
Yeah.
pistol only run of Republic Commando.
Bro, that fucking game was that game had the difficulty scaling of a fucking roller coaster.
Oh my god.
You know, Max, you laugh, but oh god,
I played it. No, I played it. You're
yeah.
not.
Okay.
It's just
Like-
oh man, that was such a that was a good challenging level. Let's why is this so easy? All right, I guess
The
it's a
gun that
cooldown,
carried my
and
playthrough.
I just got two shot.
Yeah,
like-
it was just so fucking wild where it's like, hey, this entire fucking map is easy. And then you get to the fucking boss battle and it's like, alright, so I'm gonna shoot 97 one-shot bolts at you in the span of the next 5 seconds. Also, have 30 ads.
Yeah.
What?
Listen. The thing that carried me through that game was the concussion rifle. Because for whatever reason, the concussion rifle had an EMP effect on its melee. So I was taking the sonic-based weapon, sprinting up to droids, and just poke.
Yeah, see, the weapon that carried me through was the slug-throwing shotgun.
Oh no, listen, that shotgun was fantastic. But there was nothing quite as funny as walking over to a droideka and smashing the E button as it spazzed out.
That's fair. That's very true.
I need to replay that game.
Yes, anyone who hasn't, I know you've played it, Max, but
Oh,
to anyone who hasn't played Republic Commando,
I
is
played the
dirt
shit
cheap
out of that
and
game.
it is excellent. It's one of the few games I know that just has fantastic squad AI. The AI is not
Yeah,
stupid.
The squad AI was actually pretty good, yeah.
Once my game pile
And it
gets a bit
wasn't-
lower, I'll play it.
And it wasn't ass to order them around either. That's another key part. Because, like,
Yeah.
there's a couple games where the squad AI was pretty good, but it was like a fucking just ram your head through the wall effort to get them to do anything.
Yeah, there are so many games where trying to make the AI do anything is a chore, and then meanwhile, Republic Commando, you've got
I'm so
4
sad
buttons.
it never got a sequel.
Well, yeah, that's
Mm.
you know, we were going to find out what happened to
Bro,
Sev.
I'm gonna make
Karen
it.
Travis had permission to tell us what happened to Sev,
Oh god.
and she was going to tell us in the next Imperial Commando book.
And then Dave Filoni had to stick his fingers.
No,
All
no,
over
oh
the
no,
Clone
no. This was way before Dave Filoni.
Mm.
This was the fault of the animated Clone Wars series. This was before Disney bought them.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Filoni was already owned Clone Wars.
Yeah, cloning was part of the Clone Wars, bro.
Yeah. Are you talking about the 2D animated one that everyone loves because it was badass, or the 3D one that everyone loves that
Was
don't
he
know
involved with
what he
3D1 from
fucked
day
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought he didn't
There-
come in until later. I apologize. I thought he didn't come in until
told you,
later.
my grudge against him started with the Clone Wars and how they treated Mandalorians.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, then yes, I'm sorry, you are correct. It is all Dave Filoni's fault because of the pacifist Mandalorians, and they were like, okay, either you need to rewrite sections of your book, or you can just not write the book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a friend try to be like, well, she walked away. It's like, no, they gave her the choice.
Yeah.
Retcon everything you've done or walk away, and she chose
Hey,
walk
let me tell
away.
you, as an
and-
author, I would have fucking done that too.
Well,
I
well,
respect
well,
it.
That shit.
well, the other thing is it came out like years later. There were already disagreements between her and the Star Wars company about writing some stuff.
Hmm.
So it's like, whatever, good a time as any. Fuck it. She
Yeah.
actually dropped a like, I want to say 300 to 500 word summary somewhere of what was going to be in the book.
I think I remember
it's
hearing
on her
about that.
blog.
Yeah.
By the way, remember, she's the one who invented the Mandalorian language, and she's got a free Excel document up for anybody who wants to learn Mandalorian.
Oh, cool.
So what I'm hearing is there's a good chance this chick was autist and they threw her out of her passion.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
Not
she
really?
was, bro. I'm sorry. If you invent a fucking language, you get the autistic medal in the
Yeah.
mail. That's just an automatic.
here's the thing. She also, one of the reasons that her stories were so good to read was because before she became a writer, she was a war correspondent for like 10 or 15 years for the BBC.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, that no, you know, yeah, that knowing that, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
You are
It-
on this council. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Even
that's
if
fair.
you're not autistic, you're on the council.
You did not grant you the rank of autist.
but yeah, no, it was on her thing, and she even told them, like, she completely willingly, she didn't have to, she turned over all of the manuscripts, and she said that she'd made it easily apparent,
Yeah.
or very easy for someone else to come along and pick that up if need be, right? And they opted not to do that.
Well, yeah, it's because Dave Filoni, yeah.
Mm.
But
No, but even the stuff that needed to be rewritten, like, they still didn't.
well, again, as someone who has not officially, but technically unofficially, by the way, did you know we have a TV tropes page now? Did I
Wait,
told
really?
you guys about that? Yeah, no, we have a TV
Oh yeah,
tropes.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not-
yeah.
I'm
For your
dying,
story,
yeah,
your
I'm
story.
dying.
Not the podcast, the story.
I was
yeah.
gonna say, how does this podcast exist on TV
Man,
tropes?
Well, I mean, dude,
God,
if we have
no.
fucking TV tropes, dude, that'd be great. Yeah, damn, that'd be crazy.
I'd
It
have
would
to
be
start
good.
doing my
but
job
it
as a
lasted whole
moderator on the
day.
server, and I'd really rather not.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that'd
It's
be
great
insane.
how it would
Oh,
last a whole
no.
day.
I'm sorry. I've been informed about a fun fact that you can use to slap Catholics. The Catholic Church published the Index Librarium Prohibitorium starting in 1571, listing books and authors deemed contrary to Catholic faith, but had to stop in 1966 due to the sheer amount of texts.
Oof.
There we go.
So they just gave up after a measly 400 years.
Mhm.
Guys, the book is too long.
So, it's not super long yet. I'm sure someone will eventually fill it out more. But yeah, we finally have a page. So that's
Oh.
cool.
We made it.
Yeah, we
Woo!
made it. It only took us years.
By the way, here have a wonderful Star Wars meme.
Unpurchased one boy on Tatooine. Wait, that can't be right.
Wait, that can't be right.
Hang on a minute.
No, honestly, I would be amused by a Jedi accountancy shitpost story where it's just short little 2K blurbs of the accountant going through various missions of like, wait a second.
Now,
57
Mr. Qui-Gon.
tons of rocket fuel?
Now, Mr.
think-
Qui-Gon, do you have your receipt for this boy you purchased?
I think Yeah, I think one of my favorites there would be Qui-Gon explaining, okay, so I didn't, okay, I want to be clear, I didn't buy him, Jedi accountant. Oh, thank God.
Oh,
I
I
wanted
want
no.
to
him.
bet.
no.
Oh,
And it's worse.
oh,
Obi-Wan has to do this because Qui-Gon
Oh,
is dead
God.
before they
Yeah.
get back with him.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Obi-Wan
Yeah.
has to explain
So do you
that.
have the
Oh.
receipts for the boy?
Can you explain your master's reasoning behind
No.
buying a small child?
No, to be fair, the Jedi probably did buy slaves that had force potential. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't be that much. It'd be more like,
even if they didn't,
sorry,
yeah.
Obi-Wan, you have to fill out form, FC933B for the child slave you purchased.
This is why Obi-Wan started drinking.
But yeah,
But
no.
no, honestly, I would have loved to see that. It's like just eventually just get to the point where it's like Obi-Wan's just getting. It's like during the Clone Wars or whatever. Obi-Wan's just getting tired of having to fill out the most ridiculous paperwork because Anakin blew up another spaceport again, and now he has to fill out the paperwork for the adjuster to come in and pay out the costs.
Funny enough, Mace Windu always has everything on point, and when the accountant asks, how do you do it? I created a pad thanks to this holocron of a Sith accountant I found.
The Sith accountancy.
Oh no.
Favorites would be some of the stuff from like young Obi-Wan and young Anakin's adventures. I'm sorry, you're putting in for an additional counseling budget because your Padawan was what, Qui-Gon? He was on some planet where they were brainwashing all of the children to serve the greater good, and he has a bunch of emotional trauma, and he did a bunch of dirty stuff with a fellow Padawan.
Huh?
Yeah, those are in the Obi-Wan books, aren't they?
Yeah, the young Obi-Wan books.
You can even get a chapter out of Faye. The accountant is like looking at the appointment sheet. Faye, god damn it. Okay, let's get this over with.
All right,
Faye comes in precisely on time, at the exact second the meeting says. Pulls out the sheet, waits for the accountant to open his mouth, pulls out the next sheet. Waits for the accountant to open his mouth, pulls out the next sheet, and that's the entire fucking meeting. Is the accountant can
Master
never get a
Faye,
word in because Faye's
Master
already
Faye, how many of
foreseen
this-
exactly what he's
Yeah.
gonna ask.
Next thing you know,
Until
Master Faye,
suddenly
how
she
much of
stands up and leaves. And a minute
Not-
later, the Republic tax collector shows up.
Right, just
Ma'am,
just
you
in the
haven't
nick
paid
of
your taxes in
time.
1,000 years.
Or
Wait, where'd
right,
she go?
or like
No, 300. Faye's 300, isn't she?
Well, actually, Faye wouldn't pay any tax because she's a Jedi
Yeah.
and doesn't own anything.
yeah.
That religious exemption.
Yes.
I would say another one that would be great would be the time that young Obi-Wan and that same Padawan he did the nasty with blew up a power station
Yes.
by crashing
Yeah.
a starfighter into it.
Yes.
Oh my god, he just sees
Dooku
Anakin
would
as a
be the
young him.
best because it's just like them arguing the entire time about what Dooku is claiming on his tax and whatnot, and what the Jedi actually own, and what the Jedi have to reimburse him because he has a separate account, but he technically used this for business.
Also, I mean, don't forget. Remember, Count Dooku was not some honorary title. He was an actual count.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He had a
Yes.
separate business. He had a separate everything, but was also a Jedi. So anytime he would be on Jedi business, technically he would be able to ask for reimbursement from the Jedi account for any personal funds he used.
Oh no. He when he became a Jedi, part of being a Jedi is that he was disinherited. But after he told the Jedi to kick rocks and he became a Sith, he went back and reclaimed his title.
I thought he was a count.
No, he was Master
there was a
Dooku,
point
but
in
his account when he
time-
left.
There was a point in time where he was both a count and a Jedi for
Yeah.
a short period of time.
Yeah, he was.
Before he
yeah.
finally left the
It was a
council.
very, very short period of time, but he wasn't doing
It
any
was a
Jedi
year or
work. while-
two.
He wasn't
Oh.
doing any Jedi work
Well,
during
Lame.
that time.
he was on the council and he might have been doing a little negotiation, but no, not real Jedi work.
No,
Yeah.
I thought he was doing negotiations for the Jedi Council, but also at the same time he was doing negotiations under the Count name as well. I think that's what was
Yes, that's
the whole
what I
thing.
think that
Yes.
was.
Yeah,
I think that's what I came across in my research for the Tanya project.
yeah.
I would say it's pretty close. How'd that do, by the way? Because I saw you did eventually. You did.
I
post.
don't think he's posted it yet. I think that's going to be
It
next
has
week.
not posted to QQ. That's going to be next week.
Yeah.
Subscribe Store likes it.
Woo!
Yeah, I will say, I will happily, proudly say, I have now convinced more people to pay for Tanya Outer Heaven than I've paid into Tanya Outer Heaven.
And then
Yep.
there's that shit where, god damn it,
Bro,
chapter after chapter
I
after
told
chapter.
you.
I would say I do
This
have
is
to
just me
commission.
pitching up the backlog.
I
I
would say I
know.
do have to commission some more of the Tanya.
And
'cause
I'm
did-
sure
I
once
did
you
really
start
enjoy it.
posting again, more people are going to be asking to pay for more chapters of it.
Yeah, it's
was
killing
it?
out a lot of people.
Yeah, that's coming next week.
By the way, I'm paying Sign as of today. Exactly. Yeah. Sneaky playing 5D chat. I
Really?
literally told him when I first proposed this idea to him that the idea I was going to pay for it until other people started, and that's exactly what's happened. I
And then you've got
literally told you from
one
the
who-
start. Yeah.
K7, who nobody really liked his idea for the what was it? Whatever the fuck it was.
Wow,
Decided
that
to flip
narrows
all
it
his
down
shit to Outer
so
Heaven.
much.
Oh, because no one liked his
Leon and the AI with the ship.
AI with the
It's a light
ship.
novel.
Oh, yeah, no, because we were shitting on him
Based
in
on
the
Mob. The World of Otome
right,
games
yeah, the
is
Mabaseka,
tough
yeah,
for
yeah,
mods.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mabaseka.
everyone, we were all hating on you for that because it was pretty dog shit. But that's not
I'm
on you.
sorry.
That's just you were given shit to work with.
All right, listen. That was what I got to after fixing the general idea, which
No,
was.
I know.
Have I posted that?
That's what I'm saying. You got a whole fucking pile of shit to work with, and all you could do was shine it. Tanya would sound like she had a blast in Stray Cat Strut World, to be honest. Despite the Hell World, the idea of Samurai literally being above the law, where she can kill whoever she wants and the law has to power sand, would be heaven. Maybe like a post Tanya the Evil Tanya. Like, she would have to go all the way through her entire arc.
Yes.
As Tanya, like, you wouldn't be able to do a she dies in the middle Tanya. Like, this has to be like a post entire story Tanya.
Yeah.
Except the story
yeah.
hasn't been fully written yet,
Yeah.
so
I mean, that is the problem as to why we're all killing her mid-war.
I mean, it's fairly obvious what's going to happen.
Oh, well, obviously, but, you know.
Yes, the character named Mary Sue. Something is going to happen with the Mary Sue to Tanya.
That's honestly. He did not mean to name her Mary Sue as in a Mary Sue
Yeah.
character. That's just
Yeah.
how it turned out.
I would say
Does
he
he?
just didn't know.
Yeah, because
I don't think
Yeah,
I don't think we know
Japanese.
not Mary Sue yet, or I don't think she gets killed yet. That might be fan fictions.
doesn't Mary Sue get killed?
No,
No, she gets killed
She has
in
not been killed
the
yet.
manga.
But not yet the light
oh.
novel.
Because you gotta
the
keep
light
in
novel-
mind, again, the light novel, anime, and manga all operate off of different plot lines and backstories.
Yeah.
And power levels.
Yeah, because I know the anime had that big movie where they went to the Russian Federation, and then at the end, Tanya and Mary Sue kick the shit out of each other,
Yeah.
and then Mary Sue walks away.
Yeah.
Only because Tanya lets her. It was that or get
Web
get
novel.
killed.
In the web novel.
Oh, web novel, that's what it was. Okay, she does in the web novel. Is Visha going to be joining Tanya in the Star Wars cross?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Atin?
I
didn't think
certainly
so.
wasn't planning on it.
I always think that's kind of stupid because, like,
Yeah, I've
What-
always never really liked the whole other characters
goes.
end up in. Well, no, not even just for Tanya, but just generally, I don't like it when it's like Naruto ends up in Fairy Tail, and then 30 chapters in,
And then
also
Sasuke shows
Sasuke and
up and-
Sakura show up too because they were also there the whole time.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Yeah. Or alternatively, like,
No,
oh,
to hell
the
with that.
portal opens up because Kakashi's eye connects to the Fairy Tale universe, and
Some
they
dumb
jump
shit
through the
like that.
portal to visit Naruto. Yeah, it's just really dumb shit.
No, the way I had Tanya brought in, it expressly can't happen because Being X yeeted her the fuck out of the universe and explicitly told her, all of your people are already dead and they've gone on to their reward. I took you last. They're already either in heaven or reincarnating at this point. So fuck you. They're not coming with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then explicitly, we did
Visha
do
was
it.
alive, yes.
Well, no, sorry, in my story, the in Hell came with her. Which we are going to be
Yes.
updating a chapter of, and I can now officially say that pridefully because we've updated Undying Scarab finally.
Hey.
I'm so proud of that.
I am. It took me 2 years, so fuck you.
Oof.
Oh, also speaking of money, I have signed additional funds.
Oh, excellent. Well done.
I'll get to work on it and add it to the list.
Yep, it goes on the
Yes.
list. We will get signed back to his true purpose, which is writing Tanya stories.
Writing more Tanya.
Yeah.
Yes.
And less smart. No, I'm gonna be honest. I tried reading that Mr. Saturday Night fic that you've just updated on QQ, and my eyes
Saturday
glazed
Night
over and I
Special, yeah.
closed it. Yeah, my eyes glazed over and like not even
It's honestly a fucking Midas Man situation
yeah.
where people are paying sign to write less porn.
My
Okay.
eyes glazed over because I was like, oh,
Do you know
great,
the story
another
about Midas Man?
the yellowness one.
Well,
The-
it wasn't just yellowness.
No.
Originally, so Midas Man was originally writing a Warcraft story with a. I don't know if it was a self. It was
It was a
wasn't
elf girl self-insert.
Was it a
who,
self-insert? I thought it was just an isekai with an original
No,
character.
because I thought it was a self-insert because who really liked because she really likes Trolls Midas Man or whatever. I thought it was a self-insert, but it might have just been an isekai who used to play WoW.
Yeah. Either way, point being though, it was a someone with meta knowledge. And the author in the original story, the author had a bunch of porn in it, and people kept commenting every single chapter that he put porn in. Can you put less porn in? I'm more interested in your story. And it got to the point where he said, fuck it, okay, fine, I'll do a porn story and a plot story. And he completely separated the two. Completely
no
different.
one was reading the porn story.
And no one
everyone was
read
there
the
for plot
porn
one.
story, and everyone moved to the plot story, and he said, fuck it, okay, I guess I'll just write plot now.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll write
okay,
plot.
It works.
See, but it's literally a Midas Man situation, because we have people literally commenting that they're like, I didn't realize this story is really good, and I didn't realize it was a sign reel story until I looked at the author.
Because it hasn't got any porn in
It
it.
doesn't
What
have
happened
any
to all the
porn in it. Yeah.
Me sitting here, what the actual fuck? Posting in the horny zone here, the NSFW creative writing, and yet no, they won't plot.
They
don't
want more
necessarily
plot.
want porn.
Yeah.
They want a little porn to spice things up every now and then, but they want more
as
plot.
a treat.
Yeah, as a treat.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I wonder how much of that is signed just projecting his preferences. on the
No. Some people were saying that they wanted some porn in the Zuko story eventually. But no. Sign definitely at one point was rushing it because he was thinking it with his dick, and the entire Subscribe Star server dogpiled on him about it.
Yeah, they kind of dogpiled me on it.
It was funny.
I gotta say, I am pleasantly surprised at the amount of art that Siritachi got.
Who?
Because she is an underrated character.
Okay.
She's one of the only women,
Literally who?
the woman that the Padawan
the
that
link
Obi-Wan
for the
banged.
blonde.
Ah, well,
Wow.
She's
that's
hot.
why.
Yeah, that's why.
Anyway, so so Ray demands 3 million credits, and Poe's like, "Damn, that's a lot of money." And so she shoots him again, and he's like, "Damn, great haggling, 3 million, done. If you can fix him." That's their peak comedy of the scene. It's not funny.
Really? It's not.
But not funny.
Didn't laugh.
I'm actually gonna save that.
Funny.
Didn't laugh. But yeah, it's just it is so fucking bad. Like, this dude's trying to rewrite the trilogy using the trilogy characters. It's again, it's taking a pile of shit and trying to shine it until it smells good.
Yeah.
And sorry, just don't use the fucking trilogy. The people who wrote it were fucking dog shit.
Yeah, the new ones.
Mhm.
Oh, garbage.
And, say what you will about the first of the three. Was it fine? Sure, but I have so many problems with it still. I have so many issues with it.
It could have been better.
That don't even have anything to do with Rey being a Mary Sue. I have so many issues with it. Like, there was plot that made no fucking sense. There was set pieces that made no fucking sense. There was geography and town placement that made no fucking sense. The whole setting didn't make any sense.
Gee, it's almost like the people who made it didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, all the comedy was like the fucking Marvel slop comedy.
There was
Well,
Yeah.
Amazon grabbed another series to try and ruin with the TV show.
Oh, what's that?
Oh.
Yakuza.
Oh.
I know how much you liked that one.
I'm not even a huge Yakuza fan. I know you're talking about Max there, but I'm not even a huge Yakuza fan, and that depresses me because that is such a wonderful, irreverent, idiotic series.
And, like, the key part is that Yakuza's very serious with the main storyline, but the rest of
But the
it's irreverent.
characters aren't.
Well, even in the
yeah.
main storyline, they still balance it out with some like legitimately good comedy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Gintama, it achieves a very like specific balance of seriousness with comedy to help kind of, not go too far one way or the other.
Right, yeah.
They're gonna fuck it up. They've got a 1-minute trailer up for it, but they're gonna fuck it up somehow. They always do.
Master, you burned me! After the Battle of Mustafar, what happens when Obi-Wan comes face to face with Darth Vader? Is Anakin as unredeemable as Obi-Wan thought, or has something changed?
Yes. No,
he killed a village of
he's
children.
very much
He
as
killed his
unredeemable.
wife.
Literally killed a whole shit ton of children. Also, by the way, I hate that whole fucking lightsaber reddening bullshit. I know it's
that's some of the
canon.
dumbest shit ever.
It is technically canon. They did technically make it canon in that a Sith can force the lightsaber crystal to turn red by bending it with Sith powers. That is canon.
If you force rape it, yes, you are literally force raping a enemy lightsaber to do it, though.
Yes, but
And
my point
it's
is
not an
that
instant
it's
process.
yeah, it's not an instant process, and it won't happen instantly just because you're feeling a little bit down today. Yeah, it took
No.
years. Yeah, exactly. It takes years, and then fucking Acolyte was like, oh, it took 3
Nope.
seconds.
Yeah, 3. Just 3.
She
It
was
happened
really
when she
angry,
did it.
and you instantly just turned red.
Mm-hmm.
Or when they did a force choke, and I got to see the still shots of a 1-to-1 comparison of here's Acolyte's force choke at its height, and here's episode 3's force choke at its height. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow. One of them is into the role, and the other seems like she wants to be home.
Me when I kill a mind rapist, but I'm the bad guy, apparently.
I think one of my
right.
personal favorite versions of Force Choke absolutely comes from the Jedi Knight Jedi Academy games, because at that point, it was truly the next level of telekinesis because you could Force Choke someone and then use them as a bludgeon to kill their friends.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm gonna bet Force Unleashed probably borrowed from that then, because that was something you could also do in that game.
Yes, absolutely borrowed.
No, Force Unleashed, and I was super happy with that. Force Unleashed borrowed a ton of stuff from Jedi Knight. Well, just the Jedi Knight series in general.
I mean,
because the
it
Jedi Knight
helps
series
that-
was a very solid game.
Well, I
it
mean,
helps that people like
Force-
the voice actor for Starkiller were huge Star Wars fans as
Oh,
well.
thank-
Correct me
yeah.
if I'm wrong,
That's
Atin,
great.
but did Force Choke and Force Push combo in Knights of the Old Republic?
They did not.
That's what I thought, yeah.
That's lame.
No, well, because okay, so the you got to remember, Jedi Knight, Knights of the Republic took everything to the next level because the first thing you had was Force Push, and that was targets one enemy, you push them, and they make a Strength saving throw.
Yeah,
and if they
it
fail
was
it, they
fucking
get
like
knocked over.
Force
And
Explosion.
there's a small chance of them getting stunned. The next level was still single target, but put them in a telekinetic cyclone.
Yeah.
And then there's level 3, which was apply Ultra Force Push to everybody in a 20-meter radius around you.
That shit was so fucking
no.
extra. Knights of the Old Republic was so fucking extra. It's like, alright, yep, I'm a Sith. Alright, so, upcoming combat round, it's gonna be, Force Mass Lightning. Alright, combat ended.
You filthy casual, you should have been using Deathfield.
Oh, my bad, yeah. I just wanted to shoot people with electricity.
Unlimited power!
And then Kreia was always the funnest part because it was just like, oh no, my force powers! Man, look at all these thermal detonators I brought!
Oh no.
If grenades aren't solving your issues, you're not using enough grenades.
Damn, isn't it crazy? You saw me pack these away. You know I have crates of these.
How many thermal detonators do you have exactly? Yes.
Yeah.
Don't forget,
Enough.
so just a couple things real quick. One, don't forget, Treya could spontaneously manifest lightsabers through the Force.
Yeah.
Which was just absolute bullshit. Third, you gotta also remember, third level choke in Knights of the Old Republic, right?
Mass choke.
The first one was, oh god, make them mildly uncomfortable. Level 2 was, start doing lethal damage. Level 3 was, fuck everybody within 20 meters of my target, you're all choking to death.
Yeah.
And you had things like, oh, level 1, drain life, steal some health from the guy that you target. Level 2, I'm stealing health from everybody within a 30-meter radius.
Level 3, I am now Nihilus.
No. Remember, life drain didn't have 3 levels. It was one of the only 2 level ones.
Oh yeah.
Because they didn't want to make you.
You know,
Darth
they
Nihilus.
really should have let you take a level 3 in it after you beat Nihilus.
In 2, yes. Also, and then my personal favorite accomplishment in Coder 2 was putting the Exile in the dancer outfit and using nothing but Achani melee abilities and force speed to kill Treya in 2 rounds of combat by beating her ass.
Yeah. Damn, that
And the only
game
reason I
was
put her in
just
the
so
dance
fucking
outfit
silly.
was because the dancer outfit has absolutely no benefit. I just wanted to beat her ass while dressed like Leia, slave Leia, just for the
Doing
comedy.
the
Can you
style
imagine that?
Slave
Can you
beats old
imagine
woman.
how humiliating that would be for a Sith Lord?
Yeah, slave beats old woman. Does it with
Yes.
speed.
Slave girl mainlines meth, beats old woman to death.
See, I always
That
played.
goes only right and proper.
I always played Revan as like just the
Force
walking tank of just like,
Mm.
yeah, his squad's just gonna be fuck you, and by the way, fuck you. We're gonna have the biggest blasters, the bestest guns, and my guy is just gonna have some fucking sick ass armor, and your shit's just gonna get rocked, and that's just how it goes.
I would say my Revan, he rocked around with Juhani because she didn't have a stick up her ass like Bastila.
Yeah.
At least until I could get Old Man Jolie. And at which point my combo for the rest of the game is Jolie and Canderous Ordo, because oh boy, there's nothing quite as funny as the ex-Jedi war veteran who decided to become a Grey Knight and the guy who will become Mandalore.
I think I always rolled with 47 in Kando.
47's not bad, but after a while, like, he gets kind of bored. Like, after a while, you've heard all the meatbag jokes you want to hear. Like, cranky old man with ex-mercenary has a lot of comedy value, and they mine it.
Yeah, that's true. But the problem is that I kind of just really didn't want to worry about my companion's values. So 47 was always great because I didn't have to give a fuck.
The values never mattered, though. Listen, it is so hard to get someone to leave. I don't think they can even leave in one.
They can.
No,
Okay,
they
let me
can.
phrase that. Not until the very, very end of the game when
No.
you make a binary decision.
No, they can leave before then.
I have literally never
because
had
you're not
one
retarded.
of them leave. I know they can. I've literally never had it. All you have to do is make the occasional light side choice.
Yeah, basically, with Mission and Zabar or whatever, it was Zabar, right?
Oh yeah, Zalbar.
Big Z.
With Mission, all you have to do is side with Zerka twice, and then she leaves.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not Zalbar?
No, it's Mission.
Mission, and
Zalbar
Zalbar goes
follows
with her.
Mission, yeah.
Yeah.
They count as a singular unit. If you have either of them in your party when you side with Zerka, they tell the other, and then they get angry.
Yeah.
And after twice they leave.
And Kando, if you help too many people when you're with Kando for free, I think he leaves. Basil is scripted, so she can't. If you kill...
HK doesn't.
Yeah, HK doesn't. If you kill innocents, what's his face will leave.
The
Karth.
Oh, Bitchy McBitchface.
Yeah, if you kill innocents twice, Karth leaves.
Okay, listen. I don't know what happened for you guys.
That's not positive, though.
I have, A, yes, but B, I have slaughtered my way through that game, and I always just tell Karth, I won't do it again. And Karth goes, fine.
No, I don't know what to tell you. But I mean, yeah, it's very generous because you have to both have them in your active party and
the thing is,
trip the flag.
And they've got to actually see you do it.
Yeah.
So. And who's going to use Karth after you get any other two characters that you can put in your party? So.
If you fuck up, you need to kill Mission. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, let's see what else we have. Oh, hey, here's an Acolyte story. A complete reimagining of the Acolyte. Again, why are you doing reimaginings? The Acolyte in general is just built on dog shit. Like, it's just
Why do a
bad.
reimagining when instead you can actually just write a different story?
Oh, leverage in Ahsoka AU. What if Obi-Wan and Leia never escaped Reva, the black OC that's totally a badass girl boss who's gonna take on Vader? What if Bali
Ooh.
Organa is forced to send Ahsoka to rescue them? And what if Darth Vader finds out Leia was his daughter and decides to keep her? And Ahsoka has to fight Darth Vader to save Leia. Ugh. Fucking snooze. That's what happens. I fall asleep.
A little honk shoe action. Bravo 6 going EP.
Bravo 6 going EP. God damn it, Cass.
Oh.
That's good.
I got it off of Helldiver's meme. I just can't remember. I just never was able to find it after one time watching it, and that got stuck in my head.
Nice. Star Wars: The Pattern of Fate, originally written by my brother, set in the expanded universe around the same time as Rogue One or Death Star. Around the same time of Death Star. Oh yeah, my favorite movie, Star Wars: Death Star.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought you were about.
Movie.
I thought you were gonna say something like Star Wars and the Power of Pattern Recognition.
No, it's the power of many. Let's see. Across the stars, the galaxy is on the brink of civil war. Under the leadership of a renegade Jedi, thousands
I'm
of
sorry,
solar
I didn't
systems.
know they made Knights of the Old Republic comics. What is this not dumb dweeb looking version of Carthonasi, and why didn't I have this?
Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
someone
technically...
was a Karth fanboy.
What? No, I'm saying.
No,
why
I'm
don't
saying,
we have a version of? Yeah, whoever made it. Yes.
I'm guessing it's also because of hardware, and that they haven't actually redone Knights of the Old Republic and probably never will without it ruining it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Holy shit. This is the Karth we almost had. Jesus, we almost had the most depressed man in the universe. I mean, this would have fit having to deal with Revan's bullshit.
Alright, Karth. Revan doesn't remember who he is. Whatever you do, don't tell him he's Revan.
Hey, Revan!
Depressed Karth looks like the guy that when a hacker tries to get his password, he goes, yeah, that's something exciting in my life, and just gives it away.
Oh god, what is wrong with Mission's face?
Man, I
Twi'lek.
will never
She's not
forget.
human.
No,
She's not human.
Look at that.
Yuck.
Yeah, damn. It looks like her fucking eyes are starting to separate like goddamn continental drift.
This is
Okay. She's got the problem that woman from the other Star Wars game got.
This is apparently
Beetlejuice.
the best. This was apparently the concept art, which looks a little bit older, which I would have appreciated.
Well, no, that's the original mission, isn't it?
No, that's the concept art, actually.
Oh. I don't know. I kind of like the kid mission.
I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with Kid Mission, but
I still fucking remember in Knights of the Old Republic 1, you can get like 6 different people asking you to do shit for the swoop race. And I think it's if you have Mission in your party. It's either Mission or Karth. One of them is like, Revan, you can say no.
Yeah.
I think it's Mission.
It's Mission.
You know you can say no to these, right?
Yep. It's Mission. I actually got that just because I was exploring everywhere just before the swoop race.
Oh god, I think if you explore everywhere, Karth also has some dialogue of like, Revan, you know, we're kind of...
He's like, we've got something to do, you know, we've got somewhere to be.
Did you forget our mission?
Kind of important.
Holy
Kind
shit!
of important.
Holy shit! I didn't realize this.
What?
Fucking Mission makes the... Apparently, Mission's line runs strong because those idiots make it all the way to the time of Cade.
Oh. Damn. Well, you know, as you know, yeah.
It is what
But
it
yeah,
is.
I'm not
Yeah.
finding anything about leave conditions for these people.
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe I guess they just kept threatening you and they just wouldn't leave.
Yeah, I
Cool.
was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they'll threaten you to stop
Well,
doing it, but you can just go.
The thing is, I remember that a guide I think you sent me where for the dark side where Mission left you and you had to end up fighting her and Big Z.
No. That's at the very. To be clear, that is at the very end of
that's
the
at the
game.
end. Yeah.
Mm.
No, that's very.
Like at the very, very end of the game when you make the
so yeah, if you
final
become
binary
Dark Lord
decision.
Revan, you do lose characters apparently. But
Yes.
that's it. So that's the only part.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
But
if you go
yeah, but the
full
triggers are all the ones we were talking about.
Okay, so we were just getting it twisted. Got it.
Mm.
All right, let's see what the fucking crossover section has for us here.
Oh.
Yeah. Pathfinder, The Search for Earth, a Star Wars Ranma crossover.
The fuck
Vimes
you
was
say?
really. It was Vimes was really ruined shit about this because he's showing up fucking everywhere.
No fucking way.
What is this?
Grounders 10. No fucking way.
Grounders 10. Why is that familiar?
Because they are a big name. So Grounders 10, known for With Elegance and Grace, a Ranma Girls and Panzer crossover. Crown of Neverwinter, a Ranma Dungeons and Dragons crossover. Frozen Light, a Ranma Destiny crossover.
Okay, we get it. A bunch of Ranma.
Yeah, but
No,
these are
there's
really
also
good.
Harry Potter, White Wolf and Naruto, Ranma and White Wolf, Warcraft and Song of Ice and Fire.
And then I think their most popular story is, Tangled Fate, a Ranma White Wolf crossover. Their second most popular story is Taste of Peaches, the worm story, where Taylor becomes an Ari.
I see.
Yes.
Oh, wait, yeah, I think I remember playing Taste of Peaches and fucking Space Battles.
And the story that's not on this list that you might especially remember them for is Cast Your Memory Back 8 years ago.
2016. Wait a second. 2016. I'm trying to remember the time of 2016.
During the height of the Planetary Annihilation multi-crossovers, or Supreme Commander, or whatever, take your pick source, where everyone was getting isekai'd into a commander platform and was going on a multi-crossover jumping adventure. Grounders 10 wrote possibly one of the largest, which resulted at the final chapter where we're currently at, is the main character ends up in Azure Lane as a big titty Fox Curl Republic warship. With commander construction powers. That's their big story. That's the one they're known for.
Male or female?
I think the MC starts off as male, but
and goes female.
they become female because they were the AI of one of the Republic, not the Old Republic, but the pre-Empire Republic, Clone War Republic. They took over one of the Republic ships and were the AI for it. And because everyone refers to ships as female, when they ended up in the Azure Lane universe, their spiritual embodiment of the sailors was a big titty fox girl.
Ah. Yeah, okay, magic do be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a classic of everyone calls a ship she.
Right, Grounders was the one who fucking started that. There was a huge argument about them, I'm pretty sure. and they were just kept defending their fucking choice about turning the character female.
Yep.
And then all of their fix after that shit where a male character is either cross-dressing or turned female. I just looked up on Space Battles.
Yep.
Their most recent one is the best men wear skirts.
Yep. Yeah. After that, they started doing a lot of cross-dressing, permanent, and all of their Ranma stories end up with Ranma locked for whatever reason as a girl, not being a girl from the start, so thankfully, but locked as a girl because magic, because they got splashed with water before being sent to another universe, and because they're in a new universe, the curse no longer applies to them, which means they can't change back.
Bullshit, but yeah, go on.
Well, it sort of makes sense if the curse is being powered by these pools and you're sent to a different universe where the pools don't exist and the curse doesn't have power anymore, which basically means you're not cursed anymore, but you're kind of stuck as whatever you went to the new place as.
Yeah, I've always seen the curse as more biological, like it ties itself into your DNA and body, so...
Oh, it does. But the source of power for the change, because keep in mind, Ranma loses like 60 or so pounds.
And muscle, and it all goes to his breast, yes.
Yeah, to change. So, like, mass is being created and destroyed during this curse, which means power has to...
bone, too.
Yeah, muscle, bone, fur. I mean, look at fucking Pantyhose, where he turns into a massive Yeti Hydra octopus.
Whatever the fuck. Yeti riding a bull, holding an eel and a crane.
Yes.
Who then bathed in the spring of giant octopus.
Yes. Somehow. But yeah, the point there though is that it's creating mass ex nihilo. So energy is coming from somewhere, and transforming doesn't take energy from the person, which means the energy is not coming from the person to transform. Now, to be clear, I have no issue with them keeping the curse when Ranma ends up somewhere else. I don't have any issue with that. Just like I'm not going to complain when someone from the Elder Scrolls series ends up in a different series and they can still use magic. I understand
I'm
there's
fine with it.
Yeah, I understand how the magic works.
On the other hand, I also understand if you make it so that they can't regenerate their magic because there's no magic in the air or anything like that. That makes sense as well.
Yeah, and now and both Orph and Alvor did this, and I appreciate them approaching me on this. Is they approached me about how would it work in another universe, because he's heard me rant about it before, and I was like, well, it is canon that souls can be extracted for magicka, so you could technically use... You would have to author fiat that souls exist in other universes when they are not, say Fallout, not previously established that souls exist. But so all you have to do is author fiat that souls exist in Fallout, and then you can have your character extract magic out of their souls. That's fine. If you want to make it a point in the story, I'm also cool with that. But if you don't want to fucking cover that in the story, I'm fine with that. And if you want to take Ranma to Fairy Tail or Ruby and give him some sort of control over the curse because he activates his soul power, which brings him into greater touch with the curse, so now he can control it, also fine with that. It's just, like I said, there is 99 ways that you can do this sort of shit that I am fine with. And somehow these fanfiction authors always choose the one way that it just doesn't work. Ranma gets yeeted to new dimension as a man. Spends whole day as a man. Holy fuck, curse is cured. He does something mundane like taking a bath. The curse has just enough juice left for one more transformation. But yeah, I mean, if you want to make it so that the disconnected from the pools, the curse transformation takes energy out of them, That's fine as well. And if you want to make it that he can gain control over the curse through this, because now he can like prompt the curse to do the change, or he can reject the change by refusing to give the curse energy after
That's
training,
fine.
of course, then that's also fine. You know, there are dozens of ways
there's
you
so
can
many
work
ways
this
you
shit.
can go with it.
Yeah, and then these people always choose the dumbest fucking shit.
Mhm. The single worst way to do it.
Like for example, Crown of Neverwinter, and the author structures this whole thing in that I think it was either because of the magic of the Forgotten Realms interfering, or there was something about the Forgotten Realms that was preventing the curse from triggering, and so Ranma was stuck as a girl while in the Forgotten Realms.
Remind me, isn't Mithra in Forgotten Realms?
Yes, she's part of the Forgotten Realm pantheon.
Yeah. Wouldn't she just go, oh, hey, that's interesting, and personally power that fucker just for the lulz?
Yes.
Yeah, if she knew about it. So you can have that be a total thing that happens at some point, but Mithra's not, omniscient. May
She
as
wouldn't
well
see
be.
him pop in and go, oh, new magic.
Until it activates. Or brought to her attention. Because, again, it wasn't magic that she casted, so, I mean, you can flavor that both ways. It's not magic she casted, so either she immediately knows about it, because it's not her magic, and everything else is her magic, so it's like a fucking black spot moving around, or because it's not her magic, she doesn't know about it. You can roll it either way. I mean, like I said, it's very fucking easy to do this shit. People just seem to be completely fucking incapable.
Well, that's why they're still fan fiction authors, Sneaky.
Well, no, some people just don't want the burden of
writing good.
Well, no, not even writing good, because I mean, plenty of people. No, some people just don't want the burden of creating an original series. Because it's a lot of work, you know. You got to make geography. You got to make a nation. You got to fill the nation with people. You got to make motivations for the villain. You got to make motivations for the heroes. You gotta set up all these scenarios. You got to think way far in advance of like, okay, so what's the events that cause my hero to do this? What's he gonna solve along the way as he becomes a hero? How is the big bad gonna be defeated? What do I need to seed along the way to make the hero get the power that beats the big bad? How do they use the power? You know, there is so much work you have to put into it. It is way easier just to make a fan fiction.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some people just don't want to deal with that, and some people, Jordino, Cambrian, don't need to. They can just get paid $140K a year to write fan fiction.
You sounded jealous there, son.
A little bit.
I mean, have your numbers gone up recently?
It goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
It fluctuates by month between $20 to $50 per month. Like, I'll lose some $3 subs and I'll gain some more, and it generally balances out by the next month.
Really? So you're not like steadily gaining people?
I am, but then there's the ones who just drop off for whatever reason. Hang on, let me pull this up here. Like, all right. Let's take the first few. Intended one-time donation, intended one-time no donation, no reason. He removed his account from the platform. This one lost interest. This one had a credit card change. Financial situation changed. Subscribe for a story, no longer seeing updates for that story. That's actually a good reason. I just wish, they'd have
told you what story
and let me know which story.
I mean,
I'm taking a break and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, especially now that we are exiting the COVID era, a lot of people are going outside a lot more. They want more spending money.
Oh, it's not just that; it's the recession. People are going,
Yeah, that too.
you know what? I can't justify spending that money when groceries is expensive.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have an apple pie cake for my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Ugh.
good. Well, it's not a cake; it's just an apple pie that we're
Apple
putting
pie.
candles in. Yeah,
Yeah, you have apple pie instead of a cake.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah. Oh no, it's my birthday
Mm,
today.
well.
Yeah, it's been a great day so far.
Cheers, I'll drink to
happy
that.
birthday,
Let me go get
Sneaky.
some
How old
rum.
are you?
Happy birthday.
I'm actually 30 now. Yeah. Oh
Welcome
yeah,
to
Max.
the old fuckers club.
Atin.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Atin's gone. So you know what my mom texted me today? What banjo were you interested in? I was like, don't worry about that. My friend's already sent me one. I really should get around to playing at some point.
Did she not know that you already owned it? That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was actually 3 years ago.
Yeah, but Sneaky, what
Oh.
banjo did you want?
I
God.
don't even know. Max just bought me one. It was crazy.
Oh, I found him. I'm pretty sure I just found him a good learner's banjo that had good reviews all around the net.
Yeah, I told him just get me the cheapest. Don't worry about it.
Nice.
Yeah, 2022, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I also sent you the banjo. I'm pretty sure I sent it with a banjo primer.
Yeah, you did.
Came with a DVD and 2 jam CDs.
Yeah, finger picks, a primer, a lesson kit, 150
And you
days
haven't
of
used any
banjo.
of it.
I have not used a single bit of it. You know why I haven't used a single bit of it?
He's forgotten about it.
No, it's sitting right there in front of me every single fucking day, and I look at that playlist of 30 days to learn the banjo, and I go, "Damn, I really should do that," and I just
But
don't.
damn, I don't have 30 days to do so.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is
Well,
that
no, it's not that.
Know
He
that
has
feel.
30 days to do it. The problem is he doesn't have the mental fortitude for picking up an instrument after an 8-hour workday in IT.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I
Also
was gonna say.
fair.
It's like at the end of
That's
the
also fair.
workday, I kind of just like, I could try and learn an instrument, or I could
I can
play
drink.
video games and try and forget about it until the next day. And then on the weekends,
Yeah.
I could learn an instrument, or I could spend time with my father and watch F1 racing with him, and we share a cigar and talk about the life and world and all of that fun stuff. And then on Sunday, I could learn the banjo, or I could go hang out with my friends and play D&D with them.
Mm.
And then we're back to the work days, where I don't want to play the banjo anymore, because now I have to work every day.
Yeah.
It's,
And there's another way for you to play banjo as you work, yeah?
Well, I mean, I could technically do that, but the problem is that I'm pretty busy when I'm working,
Mm.
and if I'm not working, it's like 5 or 10 minutes in between tasks, and that's not really enough time for me to like get in the mindset of like thinking about banjo playing, because I'm not a good enough banjo player where I can just pick it up, strum it a bit,
that's
and then
fair.
put it down. I have to think about it first still. And so it's the same reason why I have issues with writing and getting a chapter out. It's because I can't work during work, I can't work after work because I'm fucking spent mentally, and then on the weekends, I'm doing things with people I have a limited time with.
Mm-hmm.
How good am I at playing the banjo? I can strum all the strings.
That's good banjo play right there.
Yeah. I can do it once.
Banjos aren't usually strummed, but sure.
Still
Not normally.
That's how good of a
They're-
banjo player I am, Max.
That takes skill.
The best part is that because it's been sitting there for 2 years, it's probably out of tune as fuck. And I didn't send you a
absolutely.
tuner.
No, I mean, I can just get one on my phone.
Yeah, but tuners on phones get a little weird because there's a bit of weird distortion that can happen with mics.
Oh yeah,
They're not,
I mean
they're not always
probably.
accurate. Is the
Yeah, I mean
problem?
I can always go down to the fucking shop and buy one for like $20. It's whatever.
Oh, absolutely. I actually need to figure out where the fuck I stuck my tuner. I think I stuck it with my ukulele somewhere.
But I mean, yeah, the other problem is that New Jersey weather sucks, right? And sure, I could play the banjo inside, but I want to be outside. Because if I'm inside, I just want to play video games.
Well,
Yeah,
Sneaky,
fair.
I think I have the answer.
What's that? Move to somewhere else besides New Jersey?
No, you'll have
Oh.
your mom get you the cheapest banjo, and your father will use that one so you guys learn it together.
Oh, so we strum it outside together.
Learn to play dueling banjos.
Listen, it doesn't matter if dueling banjos is the only song you learn, you're still playing the banjo.
Still worth it.
I mean, the other thing is that my brain just can't remember chords. Like I tried to do the cello for years. I just couldn't remember chords.
You know, I'm curious how the banjo is going to work, because as far as I'm aware, a lot of banjo stuff doesn't use a lot of chords. It's individual notes being plucked,
Played fast.
string by
fast.
string.
Yeah.
On the one
That's what I'm
hand,
saying,
I
Max.
know your hand-eye coordination's solid. On the other hand, that's with a mouse in the right hand and keyboard in the left.
Yeah, that's with a mouse. I don't have to move too much. Yeah.
Maybe you can southpaw the banjo.
Southpaw the banjo. Let's go.
That's got to be a technique.
Yeah, probably is.
Probably.
Anyways, just the problem is I have a lot of hand-eye coordination problems when I have to move my actual hand. A lot of fucking nerve damage, and it's not even because of the time on the computer. Like I've had this nerve damage since when I was a kid. Like it interfered with my ability to write. It still does to this day. Interferes with my ability to shoot. Yeah, it's just anything I have to move my hand around for. Ugh, it just like doesn't connect. It is what it is. So it does make instruments hard for me.
We could always get you a kazoo.
I have one. I also have a harmonica.
Get him.
Okay.
Anyways,
why don't we get you the?
Oh,
one of my favorite things I learned on my last trip up to Ohio last month. There's a type of harmonica. I think it's called the Little Lady.
Oh, God.
And it's the same size as the top half of my thumb. It has 4 holes on it. It's so small.
What the fuck?
It's really tiny.
All right. Well, you know. Also, wait, hold
always
on.
try to pick that up.
Wait, the last time a story was. Oh, maybe this was updated recently? Okay, yeah, updated 29 minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, hold up. How the fuck is this story at the top of the list without an update? Yeah, okay, apparently Grounders is posting fanfic again. That's cool. He went silent for like 4 years. Anyway, so let's just quickly skim through and then we'll close up the podcast tonight. We've been at it for a little bit. Game on further. No. No, don't tell me this guy is writing. Oh God. Oh. Oh no. What the fuck is bro doing? Complete. Bro's entire author profile is dedicated to 9 stories of a self-insert gamer Harriet Potter story.
Huh?
Yeah.
His entire what?
His entire author profile is dedicated to this one story series of his. What do you mean, donate to my TTRPG book? Yo, what? The Heirs of Drunken Hippogriff. Hunting isn't a riskless job, suggesting a game that involves danger. What the fuck? A modern fantasy tabletop RPG crowdfund. What? The starting kit link is broken.
Okay.
The Neo Maguses alongside the Neo Dark Lord. Striking the Goblino Magus conflict of 1215. The what?
Gablina. The what? On?
Okay, so the premise of the story is modern day happened, except then suddenly Shadowrun occurred, except Shadowrun occurred by Stonehenge exploding to become a portal where monsters poured out.
5 minutes later, the British Armed Forces poured in, secured the area, poured gunfire into it, and then built up a bunker around it. Problem fucking solved.
God, and you can tell this is fucking modern lore written in 2021. The human rights are now sentient rights, and administrations are encouraged to collaborate with their magical, non-magical counterparts while keeping their separate status. Awareness campaigns are launched to world like Save Your Homo Sapien in Europe or Magical Life Matters in the USA.
Ugh. Extremely cursed.
Yeah, so basically with the explosion of magic at Stonehenge, all of magic is revealed to the world and people react completely sensibly and manage to integrate normally.
You mean people react completely sensibly and start killing everything with magic?
Only the extreme religious nutjobs do that.
You mean normal people?
Like I said, extreme religious nutjobs. Extremists. They are right wingers, all of them.
Ah,
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Published by Nordamius. I've been writing since I was 7 years old, and I've never stopped since then. I started to publix my fanfic in 2016, and I've been working on The Drunk Hippogriff since 2020. Man, this dude did the fucking cardinal sin of original indie TTRPG. They changed everything with a single extra vowel. So it's not a potions master, it's a potenis meister. And I know meister means master, it's just an older form of master. But potenis.
Potenis.
Yeah, potion nice.
Would that be like
Shines?
Podiatus or something?
Huh?
Podiatus?
Podiatus, yeah, something, right? Just, it's like, bro, come on, really? Really? You're just gonna... They're not goblins, they're goblinas? Like, come, bro.
English second language?
He's probably French. Because he has...
Goblina sounds Spanish.
Well, I mean, he has the website in French, so... Probably French.
Ah.
Okay, so main stats are scored from 0 to 100 and divided into 4 stats. Oh, divided into 4 parts, which are then divided into stats. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so from 0 to 100, you have your body stats, which are toughness, strength, and agility. Your spirit stats, which is fortitude, intelligence, and wisdom. And then your heart stats, which is fellowship, perception, and empathy. And then your damage stats, which is magic, weapon, and ballistic. Okay. Now, I will say, he's on the same path I am in separating magic damage, range damage, and melee damage to be separate things that are boosted by separate things. Because generally something that I came across as an issue in, D&D in general is that any buffs a fighter can get from having a strong weapon, a caster can get by picking up the weapon. And admittedly, it boosts the caster less, but they still get a strong weapon out of it. But if you split up their stats, so the fighter specifically gets bonus damage with melee weapons, then you can give them a weapon that they'll have a bunch of bonus damage to, but if the caster picks it up, then they won't. The problem I've found is it's really fucking hard to balance that.
Sorry, I just got back from spitting blood. What did I miss?
No, that's about it.
That blood? Are you in a CNC? Are you a cultivator?
What? No.
Did you tribulate the heavens?
Yes. I did. I did tribulate the heavens. I had a lot of electricity. There was a lot of electricity, but I'm pleased to report that I have grown at least 3 inches in all directions.
I see.
That doesn't sound good.
The 10 digits of a main stat is called your bonus stat. Okay, so wait, so all of the stats go from 0 to 100, but then you divide the stat by 10 to get the bonus stat, which is then used for everything else.
That sounds stupid.
I mean, no dumber than what D&D does. Most of the in-game actions will be based on main stat, which will be increased or decreased by modifiers. And now again, as I said in 3.5, the raw numbers that your basic attack bonus gave you was a lot more flexible than 5E's raw fucking dumbass advantage disadvantage system, which, don't get me wrong, I love advantage disadvantage, but the problem with advantage disadvantage is it doesn't cover a lot of scenarios, and you can easily overlap a shit ton of things. Say if you're flanking, but you also have advantage because there's a sneak attack. In 3.5, flanking plus sneak attack gives you plus like 15 basic attack, which is way different.
You hit.
Yeah.
Well,
you
it's
hit.
right. You can point out all of the problems with advantage and disadvantage by referencing one spell. Sneaky, what is the most useful level 2 spell in the entire game?
Oh, level 2 spell? I don't know, man. All I do is cast Eldritch Blast.
Pass without trace.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, that gives you advantage on everything.
No, Pass without trace is a spell that gives you a flat 10 bonus to all stealth checks. Period.
Hmm.
So because the problem with advantage disadvantage is I have the big dumb stupid paladin in heavy armor, right? We're trying to all sneak. Okay, so someone gives him Blessing of the Trickster. Great, he's still got disadvantage from being in heavy armor, so he's making a bad roll. And he's wearing heavy armor. He's not going to have good dex. Or if he does, maybe it's a 1 or a 2.
Right.
I'm still trying to beat call it a 15 out of 20.
Right.
And I'm maybe, if I'm lucky, I'm getting to roll once instead of twice and taking the worst number versus, cool, roll twice and then add 10 to it even with the worst number. Oh, look, I rolled a 9. Oh, look, I rolled a 4.
Right.
Cool, that's still a 14 and a 19.
Right. And that's the other thing, right? Like, the other problem with the advantage disadvantage system is that one disadvantage can cancel out 5 advantages.
Well, technically, rules is written.
Yes.
It does not.
No, rules is written. It does.
Or sorry, rules is written. They aren't additive. One instance of advantage gets you advantage, and one instance of disadvantage gives you one instance of disadvantage. But if both are present, you just take a straight roll. It doesn't matter if you have 5, right? I have this feat, which gives me advantage with the weapon, and this ability, which is giving me advantage on the hit, and I'm flanking, but they have disadvantage on this and disadvantage on this, so I should have advantage. No. Doesn't matter if you have 1 source of advantage and 50 sources of disadvantage, it's still a straight roll.
Yeah, exactly. And that it's so frustrating.
That sounds like bullshit. Stack it.
It is. It is very frustrating.
To be clear,
some DMs do
most
stacking.
people just house rule it to be cumulative.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very silly, and the basic attack bonus was... Yeah, the problem is that basic attack bonus lent to a different problem, which is by level 9 as a ranger, I had like plus 25 on my basic attack bonus because I built him a very specific way, which means I could make like 9 attacks per turn.
Jesus.
Now,
yeah,
keep in mind, I took penalties for each arrow after first attack, where I had to decrease my attack modifier for each arrow afterwards. But the point is I got a lot of fucking attacks, and if I'm only taking a 3-point penalty per extra attack I make on my turn as a full round action, then I'm still going to get like 6 of those arrows out, right? And so, yeah, it gets really excessive, and so what you have to do is the later on creatures have to have really high AC, but really high AC creatures later on makes it basically impossible for you to fight them early on, and so you're really restricted in which creatures you're able to place in certain places because the players have to be able to beat the creatures in some form or fashion. It becomes, and then you have to make sure that because of the high amounts of damage you can actually output, if you actually beat the AC, then you actually have to make sure your monsters all have a high amount of HP. And like, look, there's flaws to every system. Okay, it is what it is.
Honestly, I think second edition. Listen, for the many problems I have with second edition Pathfinder's lore, mechanically it's a very well right. You can tell that the people who made second edition Pathfinder
it's a nice balance.
Really have played a shitload of RPGs, and they knew what was good with Pathfinder, what was bad with Pathfinder, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious that they played the hell out of Pathfinder in 3.5, and that they made Pathfinder because they loved 3.5, right? It's a husband and wife
My only
team.
problem with Pathfinder 2, again ignoring lore, is that it's a compromise between 5e and Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff from 5e I still don't like.
I think they did a lot of stuff to improve it, like, right, the whole way that they gave, because they're like, listen, marshals need to have more attacks than wizards, otherwise they're just shitty wizards.
Yeah.
Right, but the way that they set it up so that they can get more attacks, and they still take a small penalty,
Yeah.
but it's not as bad as BAB.
Yeah.
And you can still get extra attacks, but you can't stack it in quite the dumb way that you could stack BAB.
And the other thing that was nice about BAB is that you could give situational points, like you're on higher ground, +5. You're flanking them,
I have the high ground.
+5. You know, they don't know you're there, +10. And so, like, advantage is very nice. Don't get me wrong. I love advantage. I think advantage meshed with BAB is a good system. It lets you definitely decrease the amount of BAB you need to have. If you can have some things give you advantage sensibly. Like flanking, giving you advantage makes more sense than giving you an extra basic attack. Because why would flanking someone mean you could hit them more? That's a little bit silly.
I can hit them in the back, thus I can go straight for their liver.
Sure,
I should be able to do a crit or something.
Sure, but what you should do, but it makes more sense for you to be able to hit them better than to hit them more.
Yes.
Especially because here's the thing,
that's fair.
that would only mean that the person who's doing the flanking gets a bonus, and how do you determine who's flanking and who's not? Like,
right, exactly.
Who gets the flanking bonus and who doesn't in that case, right?
Now,
obviously
you could use sight lines, which is a specific Roll20 thing, which allows you to declare that a character has sight lines, and that those sight lines would then dictate any attacks on them as a sneak attack if they're not inside the sight line radius. But that gets very annoying, confusing, and it costs $20 a month to have.
And of course, that doesn't work in real life.
It's a 50-50 in real life.
Okay, let me phrase that. You can do it in real life, right? But you don't have the ease of use that you get from something like Roll20.
Yeah, exactly. It's also like very frustrating because it's like, okay, well, I have to take an action then to turn around. Or is it a free action?
You need to do a movement action.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, I have to take an action to turn around.
But that's just it, right? Advantage just makes more sense because have a better chance to hit, but you're not hitting more.
Right, exactly. So anyway, life points would be based on the base LP of the species. Okay, so species get certain levels of life as a basis, and then that's plus
racist.
4 times the bonus stat of tough.
Yeah, we don't do that in D&D anymore.
I mean, times 4 bonus stat of tough. I mean, I can sort of see what they're coming at with here with life points is base species life point time plus 4 times tough. So you could have a species that, like, let's say fire giant, and their base life point is 20, versus human whose base life point is 5. And then say a human is very tough, so say they have 100. The human would then have 45 HP. And if the fire giant was very tough, they would have 60 HP. No, sorry, it'd be, it'd be 10 times for you, so 60 HP. Ugh. Max HP 45 at 100 points in a stat. Maximum stat your HP is 45.
That's a terrible decision.
That gives you so little wiggle room. So to explain this, basically, the reason why developers give large HP pools is so they can make the weapons do a variable amount of damage. Because if your dagger does 1 damage, because you say your health cap is 40 points. Jesus Christ. Say your health cap is 40 points. Then a greatsword can't be doing like 40 damage. So you just one-shot everything, and then everyone will just choose greatsword. Because it one-shots everything. All you have to do is make 1 attack. Okay, so then where's dagger go? Okay, well I guess dagger is like gonna be 5 attacks, but then how do I balance dagger versus this? And but it just gets really complicated then, because you have such a small pool to work with. It becomes very unflexible and harder to balance. But say your health pool maximum is 1,000, well then dagger can do like 40 damage and greatsword can do like 80 damage, and it can still feel good. Because the greatsword's doing more damage than the dagger, but you're not like 3-shotting people.
There's some more blood. Lovely.
Bro.
What I was gonna say was right.
You need
one
to
of the
go to the
problems.
hospital?
Nah, it just happens. One of the things that is a lack of variability is a consistent problem in Warhammer 40,000, because Warhammer 40,000 started as a beer and pretzel game, meant to be played in basements, and so they used D6s for everything, because what was something everybody and their mother was going to have? D6s. Get them out of the Monopoly box. Get them from the Yahtzee box, right? Except the problem is, as the game continued to grow and get more complex, they're still on D6s.
Right.
And everything is D6s. Sometimes they use a D3, which is roll a D6, but 1 through 3 is this result. And 1 and 2 is this result.
Right, yeah.
3 to 4 is this result. 5 to 6 is this result. Sometimes they have you roll 2d6 or 3d6. But you're still on D6s. This is especially problematic when it comes to things like saving throws, because the big giant demon over there has it's a mystical creature that is only partially in reality, and the weapons of reality sometimes have trouble finding purchase on it, so it always has a 4-up save, but it can't ever be better than that.
Because you can only go as high as 6.
My giant armored tank always saves on a 4 as well. Or my giant armored tank has a 2-up save. Most things in the game will only ever put it to a 4-up. Right? It also has a 2-up save. There's some dude walking around in Terminator plate, which, don't get me wrong, Terminator plate, it's big, it's impressive, it's tanky. But it should not be the same save as my, mile-long ultra super tank.
And to give more context to people who aren't aware of Warhammer 40k tabletop too much, there is a lot of fucking dice rolls that can easily have been compressed. Like, you have to do an attack roll, then you have to do like an accuracy roll, and then you have to do.
So it's you have an attack, you have a wound, and that. So I shoot the thing. I pick the thing I'm going to shoot. I figure out all my modifiers, which, by the way, again, it's limited to a D6, which really hurts some of the right. Custodes, the super ultra warriors, hit on a 2. Space Marines, the slightly less super ultra warriors, hit on a 3. Guardsmen hit on a 4. And I can very easily get guardsmen to hitting on 3s, so the same accuracy as the super warriors.
It's not just that too, right? It's like for every like 1 Space Marine you can put in was like 5 guardsmen or something. So it's like it starts to even out to the point where I literally watched a tabletop happen where Gray summoned fucking an archdemon, and the archdemon died to 30 fodder units from the Tyranids because they could just hit him so many times that it didn't matter that they missed 75% of the time. They just did 120 attacks.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the fuck?
Right, and that's part of the problem, right? But so then the other part of the problem is, right, so you have a hit roll. Then I have there's a little bit of math on a wound roll. The point is, no matter how great the difference between my weapon's ability to do damage and my opponent's toughness, their ability to resist damage, I can always succeed on a 6. Similarly, no matter how super crazy cool, awesome this is the Ultra Demon Blade wielded by the Demon Primarch. He rolled a 1 though, so it didn't cut a guardsman in half.
He fumbled.
Yeah, but
Right,
like,
but that's just it. That's part of the problem.
it's a 1 not on a D20 die. So instead of having a was it what
a
the
1
fuck?
in 20 chance of failing.
It's a 1 in 6 chance of failing.
It's a 1 in 6 chance of failing. Yeah, but everything has a 1 in 6 chance of failing, and it's kind of like.
Yeah, but that's just it. Everything has a 1 in 6 chance. And then, right, so you have a hit roll, you have a wound roll, and then after that you have what's called a saving throw, which is where I get a chance to knock it right. The fate intervenes, or I put up a magic shield, or I just have good armor, whatever, right? And then after that, some units are just so tough and angry that sometimes they just refuse to tank damage through what's called a feel no pain.
Yeah,
And
so
it's just-
basically, to get around the fact that they were using D6s, they added like 3 extra stages of doing damage to someone. Which is
That
it
sounds
makes
like bullshit.
it makes it very hard for people to get into the series. And then, especially on top of that, it also makes it really excessive. Because I saw people rolling like entire boxes of dice to do an attack round.
Oh yeah, there's
Jesus.
there's a guy. There was a build in 9th edition, which was the cyclic ion blaster spam for the Tau. This thing was it was like 4 attacks at a time, and every crisis suit could take 3 of them. And you could have a maximum of 10 crisis suits in a brick. So every crisis suit had 12 shots, and then you had 10 crisis suits. That's 120 dice. And that doesn't even factor in that you could do things like every time you roll a 6, that generates an extra hit. And then this unit used some special resources, and they have full rerolls. So the unit's hitting on 2s, and 6s generate extra hits, and they have full rerolls. So everything hit, and then you'd go fishing because you're on 2s. So you'll end up with like 150% of your hits. So now, even though it's only got even though it's wounding most things in the game on a 5 or a 6, who cares? I'm rolling like 150 dice.
Yeah.
And this will be the next hour of your life while I throw these. By the way, person playing the game,
I do
you
this
have to
once
sit
every
here.
turn. Yeah, I have to go roll 100. Excuse me, I need to go roll 150 dice. Yes, I will be doing this every single one of your turns.
Honestly, that kind of bullshit was why I fell in love with chess clocks at tournament. I'm like, okay, that's fine. This is a 3-hour game at a tournament. And you have an hour and 30 minutes, and I have an hour and 30 minutes. And I won multiple games. I've won games because dudes clocked out because they're like, what do you mean I can't just make you sit here while I roll all the dice at you? And even though you've killed most of my army by turn 3, I'm ahead on victory points, so I win. No.
Yeah.
Not how that works, fucko.
Yeah. Yeah, so it does make it very interesting. And now, one of the ideas I had proposed, and I'm actually going to try and work with Orpheus on at one point, is having the enemy. This is another major issue, is that any system you make for this stuff, I mean, this goes for writing as well, but I mean, this is generally just creative idea stuff that you have to keep in mind. Is any weapon you let your cast of characters use, you have to figure out why the enemy can or can't use it.
Enemies probably got access to that unless it's something unique.
Right, exactly, and that's the problem, right? Like, if you say, okay, you got blaster pistols, well, the enemy also has blaster pistols. You have the ability to cast fireball, well, the enemy also has the ability to cast fireball. And
I would say that was...
It is the DM's job to try and moderate the enemy to be winnable against, but there is an inherent imbalance in any sort of system you set up, in where even in a book, the hero has to win every time. And if they have limited resources, they have to limit which resources they need to use. But the enemy doesn't have to win every time. They have to win once, which means they can use all of the resources that you have in one session instead of spreading it out across the entire battle. Because all they have to do is win against you.
Yeah, I was saying, right, that's always the core problem with like an XCOM type game, which is the enemy only has to kill me, right? Every time an AI kills one of my super special units, well, guess what? I don't get that back.
Yeah.
But I've killed 6 million of their dumb bullshit guys. That's all right. I'm the AI. I have literally an infinite number of them.
Yes, and that's the problem.
Just keep throwing them.
Yeah, it's the problem of like in D&D, when you're playing D&D, you have a spellcaster on your team, and the spellcaster has to make sure that they only have so many spell slots a day, and so they have to ration out their spells to make sure that they're only using them on things that really need the spell to be used on them. And cantrips were a great way to bridge the gap of, I need the ability to do damage, but I also need to not be burning through all of my spells on chaff.
Specifically, I think 5e cantrips went a really long way towards fixing the problem.
They did, but the problem is that 5e weapons didn't keep up. A 5e cantrip firebolt at level 5 does 2d10 damage. The best weapon in the game a melee character can have will never go higher than 1 dice worth of damage, and that dice will never go higher than a d12.
Yeah, I know that, but that's a failure on their part.
They're know, like, oh, what I'm saying is that this is what I'm talking about it because the balance issue became. Ironically, the balance issue is actually magic and not the melee weapons, because a lot of the enemies you fight in 5e actually have personally prescribed melee damage per character. Like, they don't use the 1d4 maul, they use their 2d6 saber that you can't pick up because it's just how it is. Or, it's a bear. And the bear's a bear, and you can't just use the bear hand to do the same amount of damage as a bear.
Yeah, like bear arms.
No.
Right. An example of this, right? I told you I was running some people through the whatchamacallit, Waterdeep Heist, right?
Yeah.
And there's this barbarian. This barbarian has a mace that does 1d8, but it also just does an extra 1d6 as long as he's above half. So functionally, he has a weapon that does 1d8 plus 6 plus a d6.
Right.
Which immediately makes him stronger than all of my than the level 3 ranger and the level 2 and the level 3 fighter that I have. Now, the guy who's playing the ranger knows what he's doing. So of course, right, he's throwing like 7 dice at people.
Yeah, nice. Ranger. Yeah, so that's going to be 9 attacks, so that's going to be 49 d6s. Plus 48 d6s skirmish damage. Plus 15 guaranteed damage.
I'm sorry, how many dice? Oh shit, you're right, I left off these other 4 dice.
Whenever your ranger asks if they can go champion of the wild, say no.
Your answer is no. It is for similar reasons that martial arts Wookiees are banned in any version of Star Wars I run.
Yeah.
Fucking like 48d12. Get out.
Yeah.
Listen, it's funny. Get out.
It's like pun the Magic Kobold. Yes, it's funny. No. But yeah, the problem is that pretty much all the monsters come with their own melee damage that's personalized to that monster, but the spells are all the same. So when that Lich is casting Fireball at you, that Fireball is the same damage that your Wizard does with his Fireball.
If your Lich isn't leading with time stop chain lightning, you're doing it wrong.
Well, yes, but my point is that when they balance spells in the game, they have to balance for both the enemy using them and the players using them, which is just terrible game design. Because okay, well, we can't let wizards have too many spell slots because then any monster character that's a wizard type would also have that many spell slots. It's like, well, no, just don't do it like that. Yeah, I know canonically that's how it would work, but if you want to make working game mechanics, that's just dumb. Because now your players have to ration a bunch of shit, and the enemy doesn't, because they're going to die, or they're going to win in this one session, and then they'll never be there again. And yes, again, as a DM, technically speaking, you can moderate the characters to not use all of their abilities, but why wouldn't they use all of their abilities? They're not on some quest to save the kingdom, they're trying to defend their den. So why wouldn't they use their breath attack of the day to kill this party of adventurers? Right? And so what I propose to Orpheus is that it would make more sense, and you can tell me, you've done a lot of DM games and played a lot of games, if this makes sense to you from both perspectives. Increase the HP of the monsters, take away per day activations on their abilities, and turn it into the abilities either have a turn cooldown or a dice roll cooldown, and instead they cost health to cast.
Yeah.
And so it feels like the monster's getting weaker every turn. No matter what's going on, the monster gets closer to death. And then, sure, they just did the giant breath attack, but actually they secretly lost like a third of their HP. And so, yes, it damaged you guys, but also the monster's now secretly weaker. I thought we just have to play test it a bunch because he's got a DM group he's gonna do it with. But I think that's gonna be a very viable way to fix the damage issues.
It's not bad. I would have some concerns about the fact that certain monsters have a lot less HP than others. Like, because here's the thing, right? A hag is theoretically a caster-based enemy. It's going to have less health than the dragon.
Right. No, I understand.
But in theory, the hag's spells or spell-like abilities should be a lot more useful than most of the dragon's spells or spell-like abilities, because a hag is a caster.
Right. No, I understand that perspective. And that's why we're doing a lot of playtesting for this, because yes, the caster being way tankier to make up for the lacking of per use per day abilities doesn't feel good, but that's why I want to do the playtesting on it so I can see what actually feels good.
Yeah. And right, you're doing the most important thing of any game design, which is fucking play it. How does it feel? How does it run? Does it work? Does it not work?
Because really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what lore-wise what it's supposed to be. What more matters is the mechanics.
Yeah. Right? Or the other thing they could do is simply allow you to have some variability. Part of the reason that 3.5, 3.5, and Pathfinder work is because the magic weapons you get McFucking scale.
Someone copied the Trans Rias Isekai from a few weeks ago. I'm sorry, fucking what? What?
What is going on?
Bro, you're gonna have to fucking rewind on that because I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry, Atin. I was fucking stun-locked by that. What were you saying?
Also, I'm sorry, what is this no longer allowed in another world thing? Like, what does that have to do with this?
I got no idea. Alright, so sorry, repeat what you just fucking said because I got stun-locked by that.
Yeah, no, you saying it's unlocked me. No, but so one of the things that Pathfinder and 3.5 and 3 had is sneaky. How much damage does like I don't know, a Vorpal longsword do?
Yeah, doesn't it do like 2 or 3 times extra dice?
Yeah. How many dice am I throwing when I'm using like the reverberating sonic exploding sword or whatever from Pathfinder, right?
Right, I get you, yeah.
Right? That's the kind of stuff where suddenly I'm throwing 5 or 6 d6 plus 4 or something as a marshal because I have a cool weapon. And while it's entirely possible that a wizard could pick up that weapon, my base attack bonus is higher. I am making more attacks with that weapon,
Right,
and
to
I have
bring
a
out
better
the true
chance
value.
to hit with it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing more damage, right? Like you said, one of the problems with 5e, right?
Right.
Cool, I have this thing called the Blood Spear, and it gives me some temp HP when I kill someone. And it's like a +2 magic weapon. Oh, but it's still only ever a d8.
Yeah, not only is it only ever a d8, I also fucking hate that shit where it's like, oh, the temp HP also doesn't stack. Also,
Yeah, no. One of the first things I did when playing Way of Long Death Monk and having a Blood Spear, because my DM let me use that,
right.
I went to him, I was like, can I stack sources of temp HP if I get them in the same turn? And he was like, yeah, that's fine.
That's fair.
As long as they come in from the same term, you can use it. Otherwise, the old rules apply, which is you'll overwrite the temp HP with whatever's higher, right? So if you kill something else and you get a low roll, you can keep the temp HP that you have. Otherwise, you can just go, cool, I got an extra point or 2 of temp HP.
Right, yeah, no, that's something that's always irritated me because it's just like, oh boy, 4 temp HP. Now, theoretically, that would block a normal player attack on me, so that works, right? No, actually, it doesn't work at all because the enemy isn't using normal attacks on you, and 4 temp HP only blocks 1/20th of the damage they just dealt.
Yeah.
That monster's got about a +6 to his every single attack, and he's pumping out about 5 or 6 of those a turn.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Which,
yeah,
again,
right.
That's the other thing, right? So I'm thinking the only thing for this hypothetical monster rework would be that the only thing that doesn't cost HP to use would be a normal attack, just a single swipe or bite or whatever, right? Multi-attack would cost HP. Bonus extra attacks would cost HP for the monsters, of course.
All right. So I've been listening to that.
Yeah.
I don't think using the HP bar idea is a good idea. Me personally, I would, and you're gonna hate this, add a fucking mana / stamina / actions bar effectively where, okay, you want to cast this spell, all right? You don't have to have spell slots for your 9th level spell slot. You don't have one 9th level spell slot. You have as many as you have points to cast with. So you want to cast Chain Lightning 10 times? Okay, you better have 90 fucking or however many MP or whatever you need for it.
That's just a sorcery point system, and the sorcery point system is heavily
Basically.
flawed because it just lets it gets used too hard. That's the problem.
So unfuck it.
Well, that's the problem is you have to rebalance all the spells.
Yeah, I would say one of the other problems that I had, like when I was running the Star Wars tabletop game that was based off Wizards of the Coast stuff. One of the problems with that was they some stuff did way too much. Basic blaster rifles were a D10, but like, they were like a D10. There was a guy who was running Noble, which I was like, you really shouldn't do it, man. But he's like, I'm like, they have terrible health, but he did it. And one of the first fights they got into, he went down immediately because a single stormtrooper shot him and rolled high.
Yeah.
Right, but part of the problem with that was they didn't give most classes enough starting HP because most classes had a D8 or a D10, which meant that any starting basic bitch CR 1/2 stormtrooper,
Right. Yeah.
or stormtrooper equivalent, whatever, whatever timeline you're in, who's got an actual assault weapon, like a normal gun, suddenly has the potential of one-shotting them. Now, your players could not do that. Because again, they had a D12. The enemy had a D12, but the stormtrooper has like 20 HP.
Yeah, so you have to get lucky twice. The stormtrooper has to get lucky once. Yeah. Yeah, no, again, it's always a very hard, it's a hard thing to balance, and that's why I was thinking about using the HP bar, because specifically it would be because like abilities for monsters would be restricted to monsters you would effectively want to use as mini bosses, because you don't want to be really like you want the hag mini boss. You don't want to be fucking having like 5 or so hags, because 5 or so hags, even in the spell slot system, is a fucking nightmare to fight regardless. Like, you want the cool big fight where you can feel happy about defeating the hard creature, not get fireballed 5 times.
Well, yeah. Also, as a DM, oh my god, trying to run one caster's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking that's why I had the whole idea of the whole system for strike mission of the normal unit, the mini boss unit, and then the boss unit, because if you make the normal units generally not have too many abilities, it's way easier for the DM to keep track of. It also makes the players feel strong to be able to kill them quickly, and you get to put a lot of them out there. So they get to show off and do shit and have fun, which is like half the reason why you're playing the tabletop in the first place.
Yeah.
And then you get to have the somewhat challenging, but not too stressing mini boss fight where they have an extra higher health pool and they have a bunch of extra abilities. And then the extra higher health pool can factor into the fact that they can use all these extra abilities and still die. Because like you could even balance it, like, they'll take half the damage that the average damage their spell would cause. You can balance it that way. So like if their spell would cause an average damage amount of 40, like if you just took the average of every dice and it adds up to 40, they would take 20 damage for casting it. Like I said, we'll have to do a lot of playtesting for it, but I think it's a better balanced system of letting the enemies have abilities, but not having to balance it against the player system, so now the players can also get more resources to use for these fights. So they can have bigger, cooler fights.
That's fair for some things, but I don't like the idea that the dragon... Your fire dragon breathes his fire breath and takes HP damage from using his own natural weapon. I don't buy that.
Again, the important part is not the lore; it's the mechanics. The players don't see that behind the scenes. The DM's keeping track of the HP. The players will never know how much HP the dragon has. So as far as they're concerned, the dragon never lost HP from doing the breath attack.
They saw the dragon do a breath attack and he looks winded now.
Right, exactly. And again, this goes back to the lecture I gave on Tuesday of HP isn't actually your health, it's your fate counter until you take the fatal blow. And so it's a system I want to try out at minimum, just to say we tried it, and if it does work, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It is what it is.
Yeah, listen,
Actually,
like, as an idea, I don't see anything right, because again, ignoring the lore, I don't see anything inherently wrong with trying to find a way for it, right? And here's the thing, I think it even makes legendary actions more tolerable because, cool, the boss slapped me on his turn, but he paid for it.
Right. And yeah, legendary actions are cool, but it's just like legendary actions are cool, but the problem that we've run into as a D&D party playing a 5e campaign is that all of us ended up taking Iron Hero because legendary actions were beyond frustrating to deal with as players.
I mean, I would say, the solution there is don't include Iron Hero.
Right, I know, but the point is
or
that
don't
we
spam
all
legendary
took.
actions.
Well, no, but it makes sense that if the character could, they would. Like, that's
Yeah.
the problem. If the DM's
Obviously.
playing the character straight, why wouldn't they take the legendary action if they have the ability to?
Right, and here's
so
the problem.
our party ended up going all Iron Hero one time because we were just so tired of dealing with legendary actions from bosses because they were so frustrating to deal with.
Yeah, well, and here's the problem, right? Legendary actions were created to address a specific and unique problem with statting out encounters that came from the same problem as BAB, which
Right.
is action economy, right? The dragon either you right, and this is part of the problem with MMO raids, right? MMO bosses have to have squintillions of fucking health. Not because it's the big super cool boss, but because I have 20 people using abilities and slapping this thing.
Right, exactly. And yeah, it's supposed to be a 1-on-5 fight, and it's supposed to be suitably awesome, but the problem then comes that the legendary actions allow him to, like, make another normal attack, but the problem is his normal attack is, like, fucking 8d6 damage, except I only have 40 HP. So he kills me. In one hit.
Yeah, him getting to do that twice is a problem.
And he gets to do that like 3 times until his turn, and then they come back, and it's like, it feels cool, like he's fighting all of us, but the problem is that the damage it's doing is destroying all of us. And so it's not fun anymore, because by the time the boss finally gets defeated, like, 4 out of the 5 of us are fucking dead, and we're not dead because of some epic moment where we wanted to get a one last hit in on the boss. We're dead because the boss got to take a legendary action where he gets to, like, leap in the air and slash you, and he fucking kills us in one hit.
Yeah. Personally, I think legendary actions should have been somewhat like legendary resistances, in that they should have been like
burnable.
Twice per encounter.
Right.
They can do this. Right? Once per encounter, they can do this. Right? Like, you know what? They're fighting the Lich. Twice per encounter, the Lich gets counterspell.
Right, like, that's what I'm saying, though, is I want to get rid of this per encounter stuff, because it's just kind of weird. It's like, really? The Lich can only counterspell twice?
I know,
but it's balanced, but it's like, it doesn't feel good. Like, we're fighting this master of magic, but for some reason he can only counterspell twice? It's like, ugh. But then on the flip side, it's like, oh, okay, so there's only 3 legendary resistances, but I am a level 3, and I only have 3 spells. So he just resisted the damage from all of my spells, and now I just plink at him.
And now I'm sad.
Yeah, now I don't get to do the big funny damage, and I'm sad now.
I don't feel like a valuable contribution to this fight at all.
But it would feel better if he does the legendary resistance, but that secretly behind the scenes made him winded and took some of his HP off instead.
But here's the problem. That's not... Hang on a second.
Oh, I guess he's gonna run away.
No, sorry, I just had to mute myself real quick. Sorry, one of the problems there is that the problem is it only feels good to you, Sneaky, because you know that it's causing the boss damage and it's making him go down faster. The players aren't going to see that, and if you tell them, and the problem is, if you let them peek behind the curtain, then the whole point of it's gone.
Yes,
Right.
obviously, yeah. It's just it's like I said, it's definitely going to need work, but I would like to see where the system goes with it.
Yeah, I would say, like, I get you. My
Yeah.
problem is, right, you make the counter that, right, it's an invisible counter that the players can't see. The problem there
It's
is
only
simply
invisible until the players figure it out.
it
Yeah.
has to be invisible to the players, otherwise, like Sign said, the fire dragon hurt himself for breathing fire. That's stupid. My immersion is ruined, right? But if they don't know that the fire dragon hurt himself for breathing
Treated like
fire,
aura.
how
No,
many
I'm
fucking
100%.
times does he get to breathe fire?
So Sign, that's actually literally the system I made. It's quite literally that the units have a spirit system where they take direct damage to their. Whenever they take damage, they lose spirit, and whenever they do special attacks, they lose spirit. And when they lose all their spirit, they get down to the health system, which is actually just a wound system that I ripped blatantly from a bunch of things that do the wound system. And various people will have like 1, 2, or 3 wounds, so they can take 1, 2, or 3 more hits, but they can't do any more special attacks.
Yeah, they're out of gas.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it adds tension on the player side. But no, yeah, like I said, it's a system I want to investigate on the viability of, and we're going to do that with Orf.
Yeah.
Because I just hate the day system. It's like, oh, we're fighting the dragon. Oh, what's the dragon got? It's got a bunch of once per day abilities. Why? Am I going to be fighting this dragon across multiple days?
You might.
I'd be worried. Combat doesn't last that long normally.
I mean, you can always have the dragon live and run away, like, but
right. But the problem though is that the dragon lives and runs away. Why does it matter that it's got a per day
once
ability?
per days.
Yeah, it's just gonna have it the next time we fight. So why does it matter that it's once per day?
You may as well do away with the once per rest abilities too, and
yeah, they just make no
normal.
fucking sense. Yeah, the
like for the player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. The player abilities, some of the player abilities in 5e are really cool and nice and neat features that can make a creative use out of the class, but only once per day.
If you use this on the boss, then you're not going to be able to take out anything else after the boss. If that boss wasn't the end of the
it's like,
combat
oh, the paladin can resist charming. Oh, that's so cool. So like when my whole party gets charmed, I can like help break them out of it. Only once per day though. So I'm only able to be pure once per day.
When it recharms you.
Yeah, it's like, so if I'm facing 2 people using charm, I'm fucked. Like, what?
Yeah, well, it's like, and the problem is some stuff is very much not even, right? Like, as an example, the paladin can uncharm his party once per day. The monk can do it an infinite number of times. Only to themselves, but they can do it an infinite number of times.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. It's why they were getting close with the not Weeaboo Fighting Magic in 3.5, but the martial class book, the martial warfare book, I think it was called or something, which added the Crusader, the
Oh yeah, I mean, look, Book of Weeaboo Fighting
somewhere.
Magic was a good step in the right direction and is just fun.
Yeah. But what I'm saying though is the Crusader specifically. A lot of people picked Crusader specifically for this. Is that the Crusader just had to take a 15-minute break before he could use his abilities again, which was a lot easier than an hour-long break or an 8-hour break or a 24-hour break.
Or you have to sleep, and the DM is intentionally interrupting your sleep to keep you from recharging.
Yes.
Yeah, like. I know a ton of
like
people who have house ruled short rests as to be like a half hour and not an hour, which it makes more sense in like an in-universe, right? Like, right, they're taking, right, getting a half hour, even in a dungeon, right, is going to be relatively simple, right? Like, find a safe-ish spot, keep watch for half an
Yes,
hour.
but no, because it's like, oh, but what if the dungeon's, lore is that, we're racing to stop a goblin party from doing something at the end of the dungeon.
Yeah, I know, right? And that mechanically, you're all
You can't rest because you'll run out the time limit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like, okay, so now as the DM, I have to always make sure that whenever my players go into a dungeon, it's going to be a non-time limited dungeon unless I specifically want them to have a limited number of resources for this one specific event.
Which is fucking dumb.
Well, then why wouldn't I just run the event instead of making it a dungeon? Like, it's like,
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because right, either you don't have time limits, or you do have time limits and you have to be super sparing with the encounters because I'm not giving them time to rest,
right.
but I'm not giving them time to rest.
Yeah.
Alternately, it's I'm not giving them time to rest. I'm not going sparingly with this, and I want to wear them down so that when they get to the boss, they're out of gas, and they just get their shit kicked in because this is a
Man,
fight
you're
where
still
you're supposed to
irritated
lose.
over Squall, aren't you?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fill the info bucket for the rest of us, Sneaky.
Thug rock hard.
God damn it.
So, on Sign
He runs
Server,
us the fuck out of everything.
yeah, on Sign Server, we're gonna try and do a D&D campaign, because Squall, one of his subscribers, does D&D as a DM, and we were interested, and we were looking at this level up 5e system, so we were running a one shot just to check how it works and all that, and it's supposed to be an alternative to 5e. So I made Thug Rockhard, a orc barbarian who shouts Thug Rockhard whenever he fights people.
I see. Yes. Can continue.
Now, then the lore behind it is that Thug thinks he is exclaiming how tough he is by saying he is Rockhard. His enemies
Thunk,
really,
wasn't it?
yeah, Thunk. That's what it was. Yeah, sorry, Thunk Rockhard.
Rock hard.
He thinks he's exclaiming his toughness when he says that he's rock hard.
Yes,
but people either mistake that as him shouting his name or the other thing.
Yes.
There
should be at least one boss, like a contracted demon or something, who just goes, my contract did not include sexual assault.
This is no. I'm not handling this. You're on your own,
No,
champ.
I'm good. You
fucking blood-coated barbarian orc screaming at the top of his lungs, "Thunk rock hard!" And Demon's like, nah, cut it, no, peace.
There's like a succubus who just goes, "Oh, you did not pay for me to get beat, but for me to get raped by an orc. I'm out. Contract's over.
no.
You violated it. Should have read the fine print."
Bye. Yeah. No, so anyway, point being is level up 5e isn't as good as he made it sound. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but
it's not bad.
It's not leaps and bounds over 5e that he tried to sell it as. But we tried to rest because a bunch of our abilities were per rest. And we had to use a bunch of our abilities just to get through the fucking gauntlet he threw at us until this point.
Oh, this man, he did not spare anything.
He did not appreciate us doing this. And had us attacked every single time we tried to rest.
Don't get me wrong, Squall's actually a great DM. It's just, I know what he was going for there because of this, and it's just, those per day abilities suck. Or per rest abilities.
Yeah, and that's always the bad feeling about using resources in any sort of mechanical game, is that when you make it per rest or per day or anything that's besides per combat instance, people either get very stingy about using them, or when you do use them, and the enemy resists it because they're legendary resistance, it's like, oh,
It's like, well, fuck, I was saving that all day.
okay,
Yeah.
I don't feel great.
No.
And on the flip side, if it's per instance abilities, now you have to really regulate the damage on that super fucking hard, because otherwise, you're just gonna blow through all of your per instance abilities every instance and just kill everything. Which is, yes, the target,
Well,
but you need it to be balanced for the party to fight. And if you got a party of 5 sorcerers who just blow through all 12 of their spells every single time they fight, well, now you gotta somehow balance it so they can absorb 5 sorcerers times 12 spells.
Yeah.
It gets very hard, and I understand it. But yeah, so we're gonna try and work on that system, and if you want to try it at some point, once we get to a better state, I'll certainly look for.
Yeah,
your
it certainly
input
sounds interesting. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those things. I think most people who play a lot of 5e agree something must be done. But damn, do I know what something is?
Yeah, it's sort of like the people that comment on fanfics of like, oh, well, you're not a published author. How are you able to tell me that I'm doing it wrong? It's like, well, I don't need to be a published author to tell you that you're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong. It's very obvious.
If your grammar is bad, your grammar is bad.
Yeah, it's just very obvious you're doing it wrong. Can I tell you how to do it better? No, not always. Sometimes, but not always. But I do know you're doing it wrong. If you're building a house and it's halfway collapsing halfway through building it, well, I don't need to be a carpenter to tell you you're probably building the house wrong. Do I not have the knowledge to tell you what you need to correct to build the house correctly? No, but the house is collapsing, and the point of the house is to not collapse, so you're doing it wrong. It's pretty simple.
If you yourself making it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. But we'll cut it here. It's 11 o'clock. See everyone on Tuesday, because there's always more, and it always gets worse.